Catch the spirit of the game. The Hastings Sidebusters.
Line drive, left field, base hit. 1 run scores. Here comes his second run home, and the Sidebusters have the lead.
Us Hastings kids, we kind of have our own little crowd going on in the corner, so it's been a blast.
The 1-2 pitch on the way. Called strike 3, and the Sidebusters are out of trouble in the 7th.
I kind of get what's expected, and we're supposed to do it the right way, everything else, but at the end of the day, it is summer baseball, and we're here to improve every day, but also have a lot of fun.
Sidebuster Baseball.
Previously in the summer, I got to play with a kid from Japan, so that's a cool connection there, and it's just nice getting to know everybody and seeing what they like, kind of maybe they show me something that I'll like and enjoy and take on for the rest of my life. You never know.
Swing and a miss. And the Hastings Sidebusters have won for the 3rd time in a row.
You got to make sure you have your composure and stay true to who you are up there. You got to be able to know what kind of baseball player you are, and you got to play to your strengths.
The Hastings Sidebusters.
The Busters hope to score more and run the win streak to 4. We'll have to see what happens today as the Hastings Sidebusters get set to go against the Nebraska Prospects. A thriller, a little too thrilling at Duncan Field, if you ask me. And Nebraska had an opportunity to close it out in regulation, led it 5-3, only to see the Prospects rally for 2 in the 9th, but the Sidebusters walk it off in the bottom of the 10th inning as Lane Shires, the hero, able to squeeze out an infield single. Adam DeBora was in to run, scored the game winner, and Hastings has won its 3rd straight game as they'll face another good challenge against the Prospects tonight. Today's game brought to you by Blue Fork Kitchen, Hastings College, Core CPAs, and Hastings Visitors Bureau. We have a fun pregame coming up. We're going to hear from Ryan Valenta a little bit later on. We'll have the starting lineups. First pitch scheduled for 6:35. Ryan's going to have an interview with Kyle Hiltbrand to get a chance to meet him. When we come back, we'll relive that win as we hear from pitching coach Vinny Carone. This is Sidebuster Baseball.
Are you tired of lousy internet and faceless customer service? It's time to experience local, honest, hassle-free, and exceptional. That's the Allo promise. We not only provide crazy fast fiber internet, crystal clear TV, and dependable phone service, but we choose to become a part of the communities we serve and love when everyone calls or stops by our store to say Allo. So don't settle for mediocre, settle for exceptional with Allo. Visit us at allofiber.com/local.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here. I feel better already.
The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
The Hastings Sidebusters and the Nebraska Prospects squaring off again. Hastings with a thrilling 6-5 walk-off win over the Prospects. We heard from pitching coach Vinny Carone after the contest.
Feels good to win. Played really hard, competed for all 9 innings. Guys just got on base when neither of them get on base. They had some big hits late, which is really big for us. Obviously, they battled back as well. They're a team that's never going to give up. They're very competitive and very, very talented. So it was good to get a win, especially when you kind of had to work for it a little bit at the end.
And such disappointment there in the 9th when it basically went awry. Talk about the composure your team showed to go ahead and win it in extras.
Yeah, I think it was huge for us to get out of there with the tie game instead of maybe a 1-run deficit, obviously, since we didn't score in the bottom of the 9th. But kind of a big letdown there, just a couple misplays, walk here and there, just like not a real sharp inning after playing 8 innings pretty sharp. But we came in and guys knew it was a tie game, and we knew we had a good chance to win it then, and if we didn't win it in that frame, we'd win it in the 10th. So just got a lot of confidence. Guys are starting to feel good at the plate and having some confidence in our ability to win games when we need to.
The guy who puts it in play, Len Shires, gets it done, finishes the day 3 for 4. He's got a 7-game hit streak now. This is a guy who started the year. He did not have a good batting average. He struggled at the plate, but he has turned it on as of late. What has gotten into Lane lately?
I think for him it's big just to be loaded on time. Early on, I felt like he wasn't really getting his foot down is kind of like the wrong term for it, but essentially that's what you would say is his load was just late. And so his load's more on time, and he's really fast. So for him, if he just kind of sticks the barrel to the ball, he's got a good chance to get on base, and he's been doing that a lot, which has proven to be successful for him, especially that one there. Some hits earlier as well. So good for him for making something happen offensively. It's been huge for us to have him in the 2-hole, and I think his defense has been even more pivotal. The double play he made earlier, that's why we're in that situation. Things could have gone bad after that ball if that ball gets over his head, but he catches the ball really, really deep, home run some parks, and then chucks it in the infield to get double play. That was big in the middle of the game, and then obviously the hit at the end.
You guys put up 6 runs, 14 hits against the Nebraska Prospects pitching staff that features P.J. Laux, Joel Benish, the Cannon kid. I mean, didn't strike out a whole lot. Cannon got his, I guess, late, but you guys had some hard-hit balls against Laux. Talk about the way the guys swung it against a really good trio of pitchers that you've played today.
Yeah, I think they were just kind of locked in from the first pitch. They had good approaches. They were poised in the box throughout all 10 innings, which is something we talked about after our last extra inning game, I think last Friday against Wahi. So we were a little bit more composed throughout the game today. Guys are always in the dugout talking about which pitches they're throwing, what it looks like, and they were just kind of locked in from the first pitch. That's been the key to the last few days, these wins we've had, is batters consistent in their approach, not trying to do too much, and being aggressive on balls in the zone.
How about your 2 starting pitchers, Marcus Miller and Luke Wenzel, 2 guys who have statistically struggled, and especially against the Prospects. Miller had given up 7 runs in each of his 2 outings against the Prospects. Talk about their performance and their success today.
Yeah, I think we've documented Weeze's improvements over the last week or so, and it just continues. I think it unearned a run today. He came into a situation with runners on first and second, and we should have gotten out of that one too. I think that was unearned as well. And then Marcus Miller, you just love to watch him pitch. Obviously a couple rough spots or starts against the Prospects when he just got here. But it's a little bit different ball game for him facing Division I guys, coming from Hastings, pitching NAIA. But Skip always just talks about how competitive he is. He's the first guy. He's on the front step of the dugout in between innings, not somebody who just sits back passively. Like, he wants to win more than anybody. And I know he's been thinking about to start against the Prospects for a while because he knows they've had his number the last couple times. So he was ready to come out and get their number this time.
I think back to the first 2 meetings of the year, 14-5 and 18-7. It quite frankly didn't look like Hastings belonged on the field with Nebraska. Yeah. You've beaten them twice now in the last 4 meetings, and the competitive nature is just neat to see improvement from the beginning of the year to the end of the summer.
Yeah, absolutely. I think guys are starting to figure out their roles a little bit. We don't have 20 guys who are coming in off the bench to play. We've got a lot of guys in today, but guys are starting to figure out what their roles are. They're confident in their roles, and they're doing what they need to do to help us win. And we've learned that as long as you do what your role is, you don't try to be too much, you just do what your job is, we're going to win baseball games. We're going to win baseball games. And then I think having the success from our pitching staff as well recently has been huge for us too. And it's easier to pitch when you have good defense behind you. We're a little shaky today, but a little bit guys out of position on that. We were trying to get some guys a day off. So it's good to win when you give the whole left side of your infield the day off. So, and even first base, it was a little bit of we're putting Nick Jones out there who doesn't have a lot of experience. So it's good to win, especially against a team, like you said, who's very, very talented when you're giving some guys a day off. And I think that just goes back to the confidence they have in their jobs and their roles on the team.
Hastings pitching coach Vinny Carone after a 6-5, 10-inning win over the Nebraska Prospects. Same 2 teams getting set to go. This is Sodbuster Baseball.
Nothing like relaxing on a summer day. Nothing like taking in a Hastings Sodbuster baseball game. And there's nothing like an ice-cold Pepsi to make the day perfect. Pepsi Cola of Hastings wants to make your nothing like be the best day it can be, whatever the occasion. Enjoy your favorite refreshing Pepsi product throughout the Sodbuster season and make your nothing like memories. Pepsi Cola of Hastings, a proud sponsor of Hastings Sodbuster Baseball.
Hastings Sodbusters Baseball's in full swing, bringing you another fun-filled summer of high-level collegiate woodbat baseball at historic Duncan Field. A great way to spend a summer evening with your families at a Sodbusters baseball game. Go online to HastingsSodbusters.com for their home game schedule or to purchase tickets. Hastings Sodbusters Baseball. It's a hit.
Got the spirit of the game. The Hastings Sodbusters.
Our next segment of Sodbuster Spotlight features another Californian on the team. He is Kyle Hiltbrand. Kyle, good to have you on today. Good to see you in Hastings. Like we said, he's from California. Atascadero, did I say that right?
Yeah.
Atascadero, California, just about a 24-hour drive from here. Kyle, you're a long way from home. Tell us how you got to Hastings from California here this summer.
Well, I got on a flight easily enough, but basically
how the story went was I was just looking for a team to play for this summer and reached out to Scott Galusha, the GM here, and he replied back, and we kind of touched base for about a month before getting out here. Flew out here middle of June, so a little bit later into the season because I had to finish up some schoolwork and stuff, and just been rocking and rolling ever since, so it's been a good time.
It's been a month ago today where you made your Sodbuster debut and had a multi-hit game in your first game here at Duncan Field. Talk about playing here at Duncan Field and how this compares to maybe your college stop or your other fields you played in high school.
Duncan is definitely probably the biggest crowds I've ever played in front of, and just the Independence League in general. Surprisingly enough, you turn out a crowd basically every day. I mean, even just looking back to last night, a Tuesday night, I think it was like Taco Tuesday and Margarita night, and it was just a good old crowd just for a fun Tuesday night game, and it's been a great time playing here. Duncan obviously is a little bit deeper than any other park that we play at, so you don't always get rewarded for your better swings, but that's kind of part of the game, and it's kind of fun for that almost too.
So it is deep here. It's 408 to dead center, 370 at least to the corners. Do you have to change your approach at the plate, or is it a little bit different this summer than what you have at your approach at the plate in the past?
I'll be honest. I kind of swing the same no matter where I'm playing at. I'm just trying to put the ball as hard as I can and as far as I can every time I'm up at the plate. So, I mean, the approach obviously in certain situations changes up, but overall, I'm still just trying to hit the ball as far and as hard as I can. So, it's always the same.
So you go to college at Western Oregon, the Wolves. Talk about your experience there, and do you see that as a long-term opportunity there, or what is that going to be like for the next future for you at Western Oregon?
Yeah, I'd love to play for my next 4 there. Obviously, I didn't get a lot of playing time this year and ended up redshirting. Probably one of the better things for me overall, because I was able to put a lot of time and effort into working and reworking my body and getting in a position where I can be competitive on the field a little bit more. But yeah, no, I love the program there. I love the coach. Coach Walker he's a great dude, and it's been a really, really fun program to play for and kind of learn and be a part of. Obviously, we had some success this year, and just kind of want to build on that and hopefully get a little deeper into the tournament this year.
So your time at Western Oregon, like you said, limited playing time. Do you feel like you're in a good spot right now as your performance of summer ball and healthy enough that you'll be a starter or playing a lot next season with the Wolves?
Obviously, that's the goal. Everything shapes up how it shapes up. But, I mean, I love playing, and I put a lot of effort into it this year and getting my body ready, and been having a good success so far out here this summer. So I'm just ready to go out and put my heart into the fall and see how it turns out for me come springtime.
So since you're a California guy, have you been to Nebraska before this summer ever before?
This was my first time coming to Nebraska, and sure enough, the first time in North and South Dakota. It's both at Spearfish and Badlands. So it's been really cool seeing a different part of the country I'd never seen before.
So what do you think of the atmosphere, the kind of the culture here, the food here, everything here in your month here in Hastings so far?
Well, I'll give a little shout out to my host family. They've been cooking for me, and they've been feeding me very well. I've been branching out a whole bunch, eating a lot of different things I never really tried out here. So the cuisine's great, the atmosphere is great. The weather's a little hotter than I'm used to, especially playing ball in Oregon for the past year. It's a little colder out there, but overall it's been great and just something really different that I'm used to and kind of break up the monotony.
Maybe how about a meal or two that you've come to enjoy here in your month here? Do you have any that you can mention right now?
Well, I'll say it off the rip. The first day I was with my host family, she made me a T-bone steak, and it was fresh, like real cow, like from their own farm or from a farm they know, and that was delightful. And then she's made country fried steak twice now, and I've just absolutely loved both times she's made it. So,
are you staying with anyone else, or is it just you, or staying with any other the teammates, or is it just you at the home?
It's just me at the home right now. I was staying with Connor Cholet, but unfortunately he had to go home with an injury this summer, so I was going to stay with him, but I'm a homebody, single man right now.
So a little bit about Kyle Hiltbrand. He's a media guy. You can find him, I'll plug it for you, website kylehiltbrand.com. You got some of your work on there, which I saw before our interview here. Talk us about your little portfolio and having little projects that you made kind of last year and in high school, it seemed like. Tell us a little bit about those.
Yeah, so it started off kind of just as something that I had to do for a school project, and sports media is something I want to get into after I'm done playing. So I've kind of just kept it up and kept it running, and I haven't been as active as I'd like to be, but it's just something that and a skill I want to keep developing and hopefully work on for after college and everything after that.
So according to your portfolio, business major right now, and then after you graduate, you're going to go into sports media. Is that still the case?
Yeah, that's the plan. I want to go to some grad school. I want to live in Arizona, so I was hoping to do the Cronkite School of Journalism.
Oh, yeah.
Out in Arizona State, but everything's subject to change. Just depends on how everything goes, playing career-wise and just school-wise, but that's my goal right now as it stands.
All right. I want to talk about the Sports Anatomy podcast. A little bit of a lull, it seems like, in the podcast. Tell us about that, and maybe if we could see a resurgence of that here.
Yeah, so that, again, it kind of just started as a school project, and I took on after school for a couple interviews and stuff after the fact. Like I said, haven't been as active recently, but it was something and still is something that I'm interested in. Just to play around with and kind of get used to Adobe Audition and kind of just how to broadcast and stuff like that, because that's just another facet of sports media that I'm interested in.
So like we were talking about earlier, it's been a month ago today that you made your debut, and in the middle of the season, it can be kind of tough to fit in with a team that's already rolling in the season. Talk about how that experience was and how you've settled in the month you've been here.
Yeah, it's been great so far. Obviously, rolling in hot, it was kind of just like, forgive me for saying balls to the wall, just kind of going and playing every day and getting my body used to it. Obviously, it's a little different from practicing every day and playing every day. It's two different things. So, but the guys blended really well, and obviously with how summer ball works, you kind of have guys coming in and out all the time. So even now I feel like a vet compared to some of the new guys we have coming in these past couple of weeks. So it's just kind of how it rolls, and it's been a great first time playing summer ball out here in Hastings.
This is Kyle Hiltbrand. Is there anything else we should know about you, an interesting fact or maybe a cool story about your time in baseball? Anything we should know about you, Kyle?
Nothing, but just come out to Duncan as much as you can for the rest of the summer.
All right. If all things go well, could maybe we see you back here in Hastings next year?
It's always possible. I'd love it out here so far, so I don't see any reasons why I wouldn't want to come back.
Our next segment of Sodbuster Spotlights with Kyle Hiltbrand from California. This is Ryan Valenta.
Let's face it, we move our bodies around a lot. And sometimes things happen. A tweak, twist, pull, strain, ache, or pain. At Fisk Chiropractic and Sports Care, their goal is to restore your mobility, keep you moving, and ensure your rehabilitation is effective, efficient, and stress-free. Do you suffer from headaches and neck pain, lower back or sciatica? Call Fisk Chiropractic and Sports Care today. Start to discover wellness through chiropractic care. Fisk Chiropractic Sports Clinic.com. Start feeling better now.
Hastings College has reimagined everything. As a sophomore, you'll spend part of a semester studying abroad, and they'll cover the cost. Recognizing it's a digital world and how you learn, they'll give you an iPad Pro and Apple Pencil, tools that'll help you engage, whether you're on campus or in Paris, plus internship opportunities and professors who mentor you. Hastings even provides books. At Hastings College, you'll go somewhere. Go to hastings.edu/discover for more.
Welcome back to Duncan Field. We bring you the Hastings Soundbusters and the Nebraska Prospects Game 2 of the 3-game series, the final series of the year for the Nebraska Prospects, and they're going to have fun here in the next couple of days. We'll tell you about that as we announce our starting lineup, and their head coach Trevor Varley's already made mention the fact that it's going to be a very unique lineup tomorrow in their final game. Ryan Valenta, I'm fired up after three wins in a row. Let's just keep on playing into August, huh?
Dare we say the Busters are hot? Dare we say 3 games in a row, the Soundbusters have come out victorious against the Oahe Zap and the Prospects. And this was a team, like you said earlier, and we said last night too, this was a team at the start of the year that looked like it did not belong on the field against the Prospects. But how about winning 2 of their last 4 contests against the Prospects to inch closer in the standings and just have some more bragging rights that you can say that you've beaten a team full of Division I prospects multiple times, and only 2 other teams, the Spuds, actually the Spuds have only beat them once, and Fremont are the only other team that can say they have beat the Prospects more than one time. So going to go for a series win here today or tomorrow, but wouldn't that be something to get your second series win against the best team in the Independence League right now?
We'll have a starting lineup to get things rolling here momentarily. We'll take it to the field as we bring you our national anthem before today's matchup between the Hastings Sodbusters and the Nebraska Prospects.
What you got,
10, 9, 8, 7, 6. You're awesome. This is 10.
I'm sorry, we had the honorary first pitch. So that is completed. Now we take you to the field for our national anthem.
One Great Nutrition and Bo Huffman, a Navy veteran. Tonight, our anthem will be performed by Riley Calhoun. Oh, see, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Riley Calhoun singing our national anthem in advance of today's matchup between the Hastings Sodbusters and the Nebraska Prospects. Prospects go with the lineup like this. Tyler Palmer will start in left field. He will not finish there. He is going to play every position during the 9 innings. That is going to be a heck of a lot of fun. We'll tell you more about that as the game progresses. Easton Swafford bats second. He's the second baseman. It's Sid DeMeo, the catcher. Joel Benish, the DH. Jackson Trout is in right field. Caden Young will be at first base. Trey Mungeon in center. Nate Cunningham, the shortstop, and Braden Cannon at third base. And they will be facing right-hander Fred Juden. He gets the start today for the Hastings Sodbusters, 0-5 at 8.90 ERA. Making his 10th appearance, his 9th start, 31 innings. He has allowed 33 runs, 31 of them earned. He's allowed 33 hits, struck out 26, walked 38, and hit 3. So he has struggled with control. See if he can come out and throw strikes. He's got the tools, big fellow who can throw it a little bit, just has to find the zone, and hopefully he will be good today. Rusky Wortman doing the catching. It's Landon Gaz at first base. The rest of the defense, Marcos Cabranes at second. Third baseman, Anthony Chavez. The shortstop, Josh Printer. The outfield left to right, Cale Jensen, Lane Shires, and Taylor Gill. Temperatures in the 80s, not much wind. Duncan Field, it is a perfect night for baseball. Game 2 of this series and a decent midweek crowd as we get set to go, Ryan.
It'll be hopefully a better start for Fred. Like we mentioned, has had control issues. His issue is the walks, but it's not about missing the zone a whole lot. It's just that finish point almost. With Juden measuring in at 6'7", it's almost harder to finish downwards, and especially on that turf mound where you can't adjust the dirt to your liking. Juden misses high with a lot of his fastballs, which teams probably know, and not as easy to entice a swing there. But with some experience at Duncan Field behind his belt, we hope that Juden will have a good game today.
Fred started a week ago in the second game of the doubleheader against the Prospects. Went 3 innings, allowed 6 runs. He ended up striking out 3 and walking 5. And here comes Tyler Palmer. We'll call him the left fielder, or as his head coach said, the libero. 9 positions, 9 innings. He takes strike 1. How much fun is this going to be just to follow his progress?
And it looks like he's wearing a red helmet, and most everyone else has a black helmet. So that might be something to pick him out on the bases and at the plate, too.
Count 1 ball and 1 strike on Tyler Palmer as he stands in the right-handed box for the Nebraska Prospects. He's going to be going on to UNO after a stop in Nebraska, and then Southeast Community College goes around here for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes, and I think they picked him out as the beer batter today just to add to the honor that he's going to have today. So the leadoff man's the beer batter. 1-2 pitch inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Tyler Palmer, who comes in today at .307. He has 10 runs batted in and scored 20 times. He's moved up to the top spot on stolen bases on the squad, 12 out of 14. And the 2-2 pitch is fouled away. It remains 2-2 on Tyler Palmer. And he went 1 for 5 with the runs scored yesterday. Overall, .250 against the Sodbusters. Did have a multi-hit game against Fred Juden last week, or the game that Fred started last Wednesday. Had a couple of hits in that one. Pitch called, strike 3. Down goes Palmer. Down goes the beer batter, and Jason Frew continues his run of selecting the right beer batter. The last week has been unbelievable for guys and gals who like to drink.
That is at least 5 games in a row. At least. I say there could be more. That the beer batter has struck out. It went to the fastball there, high and tight. Palmer not able to pull the trigger and catches him looking.
Here's Easton Swafford standing in the left-hand box, and the first one is just missing for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Calling the balls and strikes today is Jason Seitz. Tim Stroman is in the field here in Hastings. Just underway as the pitch is not offered at. Swafford able to check his swing, and it's 2 balls and no strikes on Easton Swafford, who's batting .303 for the year. .227 against the Sodbusters. Did have a 3-hit game in the first meeting way back on May 29th. Pitch is taken inside and high for a ball. 3 balls and no strikes. Doesn't seem like that long ago, but by golly, we're a week and a half away from the end of the summer campaign for the Hastings Sodbusters. It's gone by all too fast if you like this brand of baseball. 3-0 pitch, and this one is grounded to the right side. Sodbusters are charged with Cabranes, rather. He'll throw to first in time, and there are 2 outs. So swinging 3-0 there. Interesting for Easton Swafford, and now Sid DeMayo will come to the plate.
Yeah, not too often you get the green light 3-0, but had the green light there, and Swafford with a weak little ground ball, and not the best outcome with swinging on a 3-0 pitch there.
Sid DeMayo bats now, Division I prospect at UNO. He played his high school ball at Mount Michael Benedictine in Elkhorn and takes ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes on Sid DeMayo. He had a pinch hit yesterday, went 0 for 1, overall 5 for 14 for .357 against the Hastings Sodbusters for the year. 1-0 delivery is taken upstairs, and the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Overall, the prospects hitting .318 against the Sodbusters. The Sodbusters have swung it pretty well for the year now, .290 against Nebraska. They raised their team batting average by 15 points yesterday against the prospects as the pitch is in there for a ball or for a strike. 2 balls and a strike. As far as the ERAs, prospects at 4.72 against the Sodbusters. Sodbusters lowered their ERA to 7.65 for the year, and the prospects averaging a 9-5 victory every time these 2 teams take the field. They're 5-2 against Hastings. 2-2 pitch on the way. Bouncing ball foul. It remains 2-2 on Sid DeMayo. DeMayo has knocked in 11 and scored 13 times. Juden working out of the stretch, and the 2-2 delivery. Swing and a miss. Went after the high hard one, and how about that for Fred Juden? 1-2-3 go the prospects. Sodbusters coming up next as we bring you Sodbuster Baseball.
Core CPAs is your locally owned, full-service accounting firm. Our team of professionals have years of accounting experience and focus on building in-depth relationships with our clients. Our comprehensive and customized solutions are tailored to your specific needs. We pride ourselves in our commitment to integrity, objectivity, and professionalism. At Core CPAs, we provide tax services, payroll, bookkeeping, assurance and financial reporting, and much more. Visit our website at corecpas.us.
Blue Fork Kitchen features elevated comfort food in a family-friendly, fast casual environment. With a full menu, you can sit down for a nice meal or order online for pickup. From salads and wraps to burgers and steaks, Blue Fork Kitchen has your kind of food. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 11 to 9 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 to 10 p.m., with a special brunch buffet Sunday from 9 to 2 p.m. Blue Fork Kitchen is located in the Cimarron Plaza, 38th and Osborne Drive in Hastings. Like them on Facebook.
Into the bottom half of inning number 1, the Sodbusters coming up against Braden Curtis. Curtis was the starter against Juden last Wednesday in the second game of the Twin Bill, and he beat the Sodbusters going 6 innings, allowing 2 runs, 1 of those earned on 5 hits. Overall, a 2-1 record, a 3.85 ERA. making his 6th start in 23 innings. He allowed 15 runs, 13 of those earned. He's allowed 24 hits. Struck out 28 while walking 11. In the lineup for the Sodbusters, it's Taylor Gill in right field, Lane Shires in center, Cale Jensen in left. Rest of the batting order, Marcos Cabranes at second base, Nick Jones the DH. It's Anthony Chavez at third base, batting 6th. 7, 8, 9, Rusty Wortman the catcher, Landon Gaz at first, and Josh Printer the shortstop as they try to get something going against the prospects. Their defense, Sid DeMayo, the catcher, Caden Young is at first base, the second baseman, Easton Swafford. At third, it's Braden Cannon, the shortstop, Nate Cunningham. The outfield left to right, Tyler Palmer, Trey Mungeon, and Jackson Trout. As the guy with the white hat is Tyler Palmer, so we can keep track of him. He's going to play all 9 positions, and he's in left field to begin the game.
That's a good sign there that we can keep track of him as the game goes forward. But for Braden Curtis, making his 7th start and 23 2/3 innings pitch, he's a guy who likes control. Has faced 103 batters and has only walked 5. So another guy who doesn't miss the zone, and right on cue, he misses the zone. Not even close.
Yeah, I mean, he missed. He almost hit the backstop on the fly, as that was a little wide of the zone at 91 miles an hour. Here is a little looping liner that's caught for an out. Taylor Gill down on that line out to the second baseman. Gill's been good since joining the Sodbusters at 310. And he went 1 for 4 yesterday with a couple of runs batted in, but he is out. And here comes Lane Shires, one of the heroes of last night. He walked it off with an infield single, raised his batting average 26 points yesterday, now hitting over 270 for the years. He takes strike 1, no balls and 1 strike on Lane Shires. Of games he started, he has a 7-game hitting streak. He did have a reserve role in one of those and still was able to get on with a walk. Pitch taken outside for a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike. A triple, a doubles, knocked in 13 and scored 13 runs, and also perfect in stolen bases. And he's been good against the prospects, 7 out of 12 for a 583 clip. Swings and fouls it away here. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes on Lane Shires. Sodbusters 5 and 12 in the second half. Nebraska is 11 and 4, and the prospects going to be closing their campaign. They're 25 and 7 overall. With just the 2 more games to go, as they'll not be competing in the postseason. 1-2 pitch and a bouncing ball. Tough play. Third baseman cuts in front of the shortstop. Throws. Not in time. Lane Shires infield single. Braden Cannon had the only chance once he was able to get in front of Nate Cunningham, but Shires too much speed, and it's a 1 on, 1 out for Hastings.
That's a good start for the Sodbusters, albeit with 1 out. Against that flame-throwing Curtis, you want to get every opportunity you can, and Cannon made a heck of a play just to get there and cut that ball off, but like you said, Shires just too speedy at first, and he extends his hitting streak to 8 games in the first inning.
Braden Cannon was the losing pitcher yesterday as the Sodbusters handed him his first loss of the year. Pitches on the outside corner for strike, no balls, 1 strike. Cale Jensen with a multi-hit game yesterday, and Cale raised his batting average to 278. 2 for 4 with a run scored. He's done pretty well against the prospects, 6 out of 18. Throw over to first base, and Shires back in safely. No score, bottom of the first, just getting rolling here at historic Duncan Field. And the pitch, Jensen goes after an off-speed pitch, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. 79 miles an hour on that one. Again, Curtis, his first offering, which hit the backstop pretty much on the fly, was 91. Throw over to first, and Shires not going anywhere as he dives back in safely. Sodbusters with their first 3-game winning streak of the year, trying to take it to 4 against a very talented Nebraska prospects team. Bouncing ball foul, and mishandled. Joel Skipper, I thought, had it cleanly. Still not too bad on that one hopper, and he's able to grab it on the hop and toss it back. Corey Caranda coaching down at first base, and Vinny Carone, the pitching coach for the Hastings Sodbusters. Quick throw over to first. Shires only a couple of steps off as Curtis trying to catch him napping. Braden Curtis outstanding in that win over the Sodbusters last year. Curtis out of Papillion La Vista South going to Nebraska Omaha. A lot of the Mavericks playing their summer ball for the prospects. 1 ball and 2 strikes now in Jensen as he takes the 0-2 pitch up high. Shires a little bit bigger lead now. Let's see what Curtis has in store. Shires not going anywhere, and the pitch is outside, and it's 2-2. Good eye there for Cale Jensen. Jensen, a D1 guy, going to North Dakota State. Red-shirted this past year. Here comes the 2-2 delivery, and Jensen bounces this one back up the middle. The shortstop's got it. Dishes to second for one. Over to first. Double play. Taylor made right there as Cunningham gets it to Swafford. Swafford, the quick turn to Caden Young. And the Sodbusters are gone here in inning number 1. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. Head of the second inning, no score. It's Sodbuster Baseball.
Sodbuster Baseball is sponsored by Jerry Spady Chevrolet GMC. It's one of the many ways Jerry and Greg Spady, along with their families and employees, have proudly embraced a passion for giving back to the community. The folks at Jerry Spady Chevrolet GMC realize the importance of enriching and improving the lives of their neighbors. They've accomplished this through philanthropy and active personal involvement. Featuring the top new and used inventory in the region and a certified service department, Jerry Spady Chevrolet GMC, 2750 Osborne Drive East in Hastings, or at spady.com. Make your next pit stop at the Coach's Corner, a friendly staff and a deep lineup of snacks. You can find Coach's Corner in North Hastings on Osborne Drive East. More than just a gas station, Coach's Corner is the place to get delicious pizza made fresh for you and your family. Don't take our word for it. It's so good it'll be featured at selected Sodbuster home games this season. For a convenient and clean experience, be sure to check out the new convenience store in North Hastings, Coach's Corner.
It is Sodbuster Baseball as we head to inning number 2. The Hastings Sodbusters and the Nebraska Prospects sent their minimum to the plate. I thought maybe we would see Tyler Palmer warming up to potentially pitch, because that was one of the questions that Trevor Varley didn't know. He wanted to see how the flow of the game went. When the innings pitched and caught would be for Tyler Palmer. I thought I saw somebody go down there, but it was not Palmer. But we may see Palmer just rotate through the outfield the first 3 innings. Right now it's Joel Benish at the plate, and Benish, outstanding pitcher, but one of their better hitters in limited playing time at the plate. .350 for the year, a team-leading 4 home runs with 4 doubles. He's knocked in 12. He's scored 10 times in just 11 games played in the field, and takes strike 1. We know all about Benish on the mound, although he had a very un-Joel Benish-like outing yesterday in relief. Pitch is taken high for a ball, 1 ball, and 1 strike on the Norris High School product. Pitched an inning, allowed 2 runs on 1 hit, struck out 2, and walked 3, which is a heck of a lot for that guy. Pitch swung on and missed, 1 ball and 2 strikes for Benish, as his pitching numbers have been pretty amazing. Has just 7 walks for the year, 3 of them coming last night against the Sodbusters. 1-2 count on Joel Benish, who had a big game against Hastings, the second meeting when the Prospects put up 18. Benish lines this one to left center field, and that's a base hit. 1 for 1 for Joel Benish, and the Prospects have their first base runner.
Already in just his second game against the Sodbusters in the batting order, he is now 4 for 6, and that is the tune of a 6.67 ERA. So he can do it on the mound and in the field. A great two-way player for this Prospects team.
Nebraska Omaha guy, they're primarily going to use him as a pitcher, although Trevor Varley said he may get a little bit of time in the field, but mainly will be used for his good left arm. Jackson Trout up there taking ball 1 ball and no strikes on Trout, who comes into today at .308. A team best 23 RBI, and he scored 25 runs to lead the team. 1 for 5 yesterday with a run batted in and a run scored, and he swings and misses here. 1 ball and 1 strike. The big right-hander, 6'5", 220-pounder, a Papillion La Vista grad, and another UNO Maverick. Pitch inside it. Clanks off the helmet of Trout, who will trot down to first, so that one gets away from Fred, and there's first and second, nobody out after a 1-2-3 first, a single and a hit batsman, and the Prospects have something cooking here in inning number 2.
A loud sound on that ball hitting the helmet there, but Trout appears to be all right. He'll take his time, make sure he can still see straight after that. That'll wake you up if it doesn't already, but that one just got away from Juden, and you don't want to see a guy get hit anywhere, but you definitely don't want to see him get up in the hit up in the head. And Trevor Varley, the head coach down there, making sure he's all right. Looks like Trout's got a smile on his face, so he must be doing all right.
84 miles an hour, and it was a bit of a glancing blow. Like I said, it still could rattle her cage, but it did not catch him clean. And first and second, we'll see how the Prospects play it with Caden Young coming up. He's the first baseman, standing in the left-handed box. Fred Juden trying to settle down and regain the mojo he had in the first. And the off-speed pitch way high and way outside. 1 ball and no strikes on Caden Young. Columbus SCOTUS graduate at Northeast Community College, athletic training major, batting .230 for the summer with a home run, a couple of doubles. 1-0 delivery, and tried to check his swing, and apparently is able to do so as the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes on Caden Young. He's knocked in 16, scored 17, just 133 against the Sodbusters yesterday, including, I should say for the year, including 0 for 2 yesterday with a run scored. 2-0 pitch. Did not go around again, apparently. Boy, I thought he had a pretty good hack at it, but they say no swing. So 3-0, so a couple of check swings there for Young. The last one particularly, it felt like he may have gone. Here's the 3-0 delivery. High for ball 4, so now they're loaded up, and after such a solid first inning, single hit batsman walk to load the bases, and Trey Munge had a chance to do some major damage here for the Prospects in the second. Mungeon has done pretty well against the Sodbusters, 5 out of 15, including a 4-hit game in the Game 2 18-7 win back on June 19th. Munge into the right-handed box, and Fred Juden blows it by him for strike 1, no balls and 1 strike, as Mungeon could not catch up with the 83-mile-an-hour fastball from Fred Juden. Bases loaded, nobody out. Sodbusters take a comebacker right here, a little 1-2-3 double play. Pitch just off the inside corner. The count goes to 1-1 on Trey Mungeon. Mungeon came in yesterday as a pinch runner and then got an at-bat, went 0 for 1 and scored a run in the Sodbusters' extra inning win over the Prospects. Pitch taken high, 2-1 on Trey Mungeon. Mungeon out of Millard South. He's playing his college ball at Southwest Baptist. He was a member of the Prospects' inaugural team a year ago. 2-1 delivery, and this one is bounce foul, 2-2. Fred trying to find a way to get his 3rd strikeout here in the first couple of innings to record his first out of the second after seeing the bases loaded behind him here early in inning number 2. 30 pitches so far for Fred Juden. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. That's big. First out of the second inning. That keeps the bases loaded with Nate Cunningham coming to the plate.
Good pitch by Fred there. Went to the curveball there, and Mungeon swinging over that, and that's a big first out. Now you can turn 2 and get out of the inning with no damage done. Corners in on the infield, and Cabranes and Printer at second and short, played up the middle, prepared to turn that double play ball there.
Guys had some success against the Sodbusters, though, is Nate Cunningham. He's hitting .357 against Hastings for the summer, and swings and misses here. No balls and a strike. Overall, .262 for Nate Cunningham. Had a 3-hit game in that 18-run explosion back on June 19th. Cunningham, however, yesterday going 0 for 5. Pitch inside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yesterday, definitely a day Cunningham would like to forget about. Put that behind him and get back on the horse there, especially with 4 strikeouts yesterday, too.
Bases loaded for the Prospects. No score in the second. Pitch is across for a strike, 1-2 on Cunningham. Couple of strikeouts for Juden in the first. He was able to get a big bases loaded strikeout against Mungeon. See if he can follow that up against Cunningham here. 1-2 the count, and the pitch. Bouncing ball left side. Chavez has it. Throws to second for 1. Cabranes over to first. Double play. Inning over. 5-4-3. Twin killing, and the Sodbusters out of trouble in the second. No score as we head to the bottom of 2. This is Sodbuster Baseball.
Are you tired of lousy internet and faceless customer service? It's time to experience local, honest, hassle-free, and exceptional. That's the Allo promise. We not only provide crazy fast fiber internet, crystal clear TV, and dependable phone service, but we choose to become a part of the communities we serve and love when everyone calls or stops by our store to say Allo. So don't settle for mediocre, settle for exceptional with Allo. Visit us at allofiber.com/local.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here. I feel better already.
The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Good baseball through an inning and a half. Hastings Sodbusters are scoreless at the Prospects. Good escape job for Fred Juden. Single, hit batsman, walk to open the frame, but a strikeout and a double play and no damage done. Go to the second inning, and Tyler Palmer with the white hat. He's the libero for the Nebraska Prospects. Yes, this is baseball, but Palmer plans to play every position today, and Palmer is in center field with Mungeon moving to left field here for inning number 2. A tremendous versatility for Tyler Palmer. He's gone to a lot of schools, and now he's playing a lot of positions here today for the Nebraska Prospects.
Yeah, Palmer, a former Husker, played time at Southeast Community College. Just a guy who loves the game. He's a local guy, Columbus native, went to Columbus SCOTUS, and just a guy who's got a lot of energy and just loves playing the game here, and really cool to see him get to accomplish this today.
Marcos Cabranes will step to the plate for the Sodbusters. Sodbusters had a one-out infield single from Lane Shires, but Cale Jensen grounded into a double play in the first, and here we are in inning number 2 of a scoreless contest. Good off-speed pitch there, no balls and a strike as the knees buckled a bit for Cabranes as Braden Curtis working a scoreless first inning. He was very good last week in that doubleheader as he picked up the win in Game 2 after Benish got the win in the first game of that twin bill. Sodbusters won the opening game of the series, but then it was the Prospects winning 7-1 and 9-3 last Wednesday. Quickly, 2 strikes now on Marcos Cabranes. Braden Curtis, right-hander, brings it in. Cabranes didn't mean to go and could not check the swing, and he's down on 3 pitches. First strikeout for Curtis, and now we'll see Nick Jones, designated hitter for the Hastings Sodbusters. Jonesy's been hot, raised his batting average to .277. Had another hit yesterday and a run scored for the Sodbusters. Against the Prospects, he's .272, 6/22 on the year, and he takes a first pitch strike, no balls and a strike on Nick Jones. DHing today for the Hastings Sodbusters. He has been getting a few starts at first base here as of late. Can also catch. 0-1 delivery, misses outside. 2 balls on a strike on the curveball there, and it's 79 miles an hour. He hits 90 with his fastball. 1-1 delivery. Blew it right by him. Jones could not catch up, and that's just under 90 at 89 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes, 1 out. We're in the second inning of a scoreless game between the Prospects and the Sodbusters. Pitched low and in the dirt. Goes to 2-2 on Nick Jones. Sodbusters in the green unis today. White numbers trimmed in gold. Prospects going with their dark grays. The red numbers and trim. Gray pants. The red stockings. 2-2 delivery. Jones stays alive, fouls it back. 6th pitch of the at-bat coming up as Braden Curtis getting set to go with his 20th pitch of the day. Here's the delivery. Way high and outside, 3-2 now. And Nick Jones, who does lead the team in base on balls, trying to work his way on with 1 out. No score in the second. 9-inning contest today. Another 9-inning affair at 6:35 tomorrow. And then the Sodbusters with their last road trip of the year. Off-speed pitch is outside. And Nick Jones earns a 1-out walk. 1 on, 1 out for Anthony Chavez. They were trying to give Chavez the day off fully yesterday. He was called on as a defensive replacement late. Ended up playing what I believe was his first time at first base for the Sodbusters this year in the 10th inning. Sodbusters ended up rallying to, or at least overcoming the disappointment of not winning in regulation to win it in 10. Pitch taken upstairs for ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes on Anthony Chavez, who's coming into today at .286, a team best 9 doubles with 15 runs batted in and 12 runs scored. And the pitch is line to right field, base hit. First and second for the Sodbusters with only 1 out as Jones and Chavez both aboard. Jones with the walk, Chavez with the single, and we'll see if the bottom of the order can bring those guys home.
Hopefully that day off for Chavez, or the quote-unquote day off, if you will, to help that bat at the plate. Not that it needed any help anyways. The tie for the team lead in doubles. Chavez picking up right where he left off with a second-inning single.
Here's Rusty Wortman, .216 on the year as he went 0 for 1 at a pinch hit roll yesterday after had a pretty good series against Oahe. And he went 3 for 6, including a multi-hit game on Sunday with 2 runs scored. Rusty, a pretty good eye at the plate. He does take strike 1 here. No balls and a strike doing the catching today for the Hastings Sodbusters. Runners at first and second. 1 out, no score in the second. As Curtis looks at the runner at second base and brings the pitch home. Way high. 1-1 the count now on Rusty Wortman. Wortman, Northeast Community College, will be going back for his third year. He's got a criminal justice associate's going to do some EMT and paramedic training for his third year. Could do fire science at a 4-year school. They want to be something like a fire marshal eventually. Pitch taken high. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike on Rusty Wortman.
Rusty Wortman has that's just a fire marshal's name, isn't it?
You know, that it is. I never really
Fire
thought about
Marshal Wortman, Fire Marshal Rusty just has a perfect ring to it in my eyes.
With the little Dalmatian, next to him there on the fire truck. 2-1 delivery. Wortman drills this one to left center field, and the new center fielder, Mr. Libero, makes the catch out there. Tyler Palmer gets his first chance at defense. It's going to be fascinating to see how many chances he gets at how many different positions. That is his first put out of the day for Tyler Palmer, and there are 2 outs in the inning, and we'll see if Landon Gaz can deliver a big 2-out hit. So Wortman hit it pretty well, but he lines out to center field. Landon Gaz had been struggling as of late, but he had a really good at-bat. It sounds weird, but he had a really good bat and a strikeout. He fouled off several pitches last night in one of his at-bats, and then was able to come back and get a hit and scored a run. Swings and misses here at 1 out of the zone. No balls and a strike on Landon Gaz. And you felt like Gaz maybe saw the ball better last night than he had been in the recent few weeks. It's ups and downs in summer ball and in baseball in general. That's why the best of the best hit under 500 and most of the time under 400. 0-2 the count now on Landon Gaz. For the Hastings Sodbusters, 2 outs, 2 on. Hastings trying to get a big 2-out hit and bring one home. It's Braden Curtis ahead of Landon Gaz. And the pitch. Beauty. Off speeder. Caught the inside corner. That was nasty. 77 miles an hour. And the second strikeout of the inning ends the frame. No balls, or I should say no runs. 1 hit, 2 men left. We're to the third. No score. The Sodbusters and the Prospects. This is Sodbuster Baseball.
There's nothing like relaxing on a summer day. Nothing like taking in a Hastings Sodbuster baseball game. And there's nothing like an ice-cold Pepsi to make the day perfect. Pepsi Cola of Hastings wants to make your nothing like be the best day it can be, whatever the occasion. Enjoy your favorite refreshing Pepsi product throughout the Sodbuster season and make your nothing like memories. Pepsi Cola of Hastings, a proud sponsor of Hastings Sodbuster Baseball.
Hastings Sodbusters Baseball's in full swing, bringing you another fun-filled summer of high-level collegiate woodbat baseball at historic Duncan Field. A great way to spend a summer evening with your families at a Sodbusters baseball game. Go online to HastingsSodbusters.com for their home game schedule or to purchase tickets. Hastings Sodbusters Baseball. It's a hit.
Got the spirit of the game. The Hastings Sodbusters.
Head to inning number 3. The Hastings Sodbusters and the Nebraska Prospects are scoreless, and here's Ryan Valenta.
And we'll see how Fred Juden is able to respond after an up inning and a down inning. That last inning being the down inning, but on the scoreboard you wouldn't think anything of it. Just 1 hit for the Prospects was that leadoff single, but somehow, some way, Juden able to dance out of trouble after loading the bases with no outs. You get a strikeout and a huge 5-4-3 double play turned by the Sodbusters middle infield to escape trouble. And that's where we stand now, 0-0 here in the top of the third inning. 9-1-2 due up for the Prospects against Fred Juden. Fred and Dalton, brothers on this team, playing summer ball here in Hastings. There's a good curveball there from Fred. He gets strike 1. Juden with a 4-seam curveball and changeup arsenal, and we've seen that curveball full hitters. Back up the middle, Cabranes over the bag at second. Long throw and just in time to retire Cannon. And Cabranes shows off the arm at second base. And there's 1 out to start off the third.
Also shows the range. I thought when it got over Juden said it was going to scoot into center field, but good job for Cabranes to make the stop. Knew he had times because he had that cannon to get Cannon. Was able to turn and make a strong throw.
Here is top of the lineup in Tyler Palmer. Our play every position man today. He's swinging first pitch and fouls it back. He's actually the beer batter. I wonder how many beer batters have been the leadoff guy. I can think of Elijah Reeves for the Casper Spuds. That might be the end of the line there. Way high for ball one. And Juden overthrows that fastball. Count goes to 1-1. Juden around the middle 80s with his fastball. Palmer ready and takes ball 2 outside, and the count goes to 2-1. Pretty close pitch there, but Wortman did not receive that well. Actually a borderline pitch according to our box up here. Breaking ball, and Palmer shaking his head, thought he had, and that also a pretty good pitch, but not called by home plate umpire Jason Seitz. So now 3-1, and that's way up high for ball 4. So Palmer, after striking out in the first inning, will reach bases for a walk, and for Juden, his second walk of the afternoon.
Was able to dodge a bullet last inning when he allowed a single, a hit batsman, and a walk to open the frame. That's not going to happen every time. Really needs to find a way to get Easton Swafford.
And Swafford's been a guy who it's been tough to get out, but the Sodbusters have tangled him nicely as he takes ball 1 upstairs. Swafford coming into the game a .303 average, but hitting just .227 in 6 games against the Sodbusters. Palmer leads at first. He's a threat to steal. Not going. There's the fastball. Gets the call in the outside corner. It is 1-1 to Swafford. Swafford, one of a handful of Arkansas guys on this Nebraska prospects roster. There goes Palmer, pitches up high. Throw from Wortman is in time, and they got him stealing. Palmer is thrown out, and Rusty Wortman with the gun gets the man stealing, and that 1-out walk is erased. There's 2 outs.
Wortman a good throw and a tremendous tag for Josh Printer, who had to come in front of the bag and sweep back to get Tyler Palmer trying to steal.
And for Rusty Wortman, just his 4th runner he's caught this year in 46 tries. Fouled back, and now the Sodbusters are a strike away from facing the minimum once again. Prospects are a team that like to run, and that is just the 4th time in 65 times the Prospects have been thrown out on the bases. Pitches up high for ball 2. Count goes to 2-2, and wouldn't you know, 3 of the 5 times now the caught stealing have been Mr. Palmer. Full count pitch, breaking ball, foul ground, left side, Chavez near the fence. Oh, he had a play there, but didn't want to run into the fence and can't make the play, so Swafford will remain at the plate. Kind of tough there. You have your dugout there, but they're far away, and I think they might be giving him some flack for not catching that ball there, but the count is now 3-2. Swafford grounded out in the first inning. Juden trying to get out of this. Ground ball to Printer at short. Gobbles it up, throws to first, and out is Swafford. And once again, Juden allows a base runner, but ends up facing the minimum. And the Prospects are turned away in the 3rd inning. Sodbusters coming up in the bottom of the 3rd on Sodbuster Baseball.
Let's face it, we move our bodies around a lot. And sometimes things happen. A tweak, twist, pull, strain, ache, or pain. At Fisk Chiropractic and Sports Care, their goal is to restore your mobility, keep you moving, and ensure your rehabilitation is effective, efficient, and stress-free. Do you suffer from headaches and neck pain, lower back, or sciatica? Call Fisk Chiropractic and Sports Care today. Start to discover wellness through chiropractic care. Fisk Chiropractic Sports Clinic.com. Start feeling better now.
Hastings College has reimagined everything. As a sophomore, you'll spend part of a semester studying abroad, and they'll cover the cost. Recognizing it's a digital world and how you learn, they'll give you an iPad Pro and Apple Pencil, tools that'll help you engage, whether you're on campus or in Paris, plus internship opportunities and professors who mentor you. Hastings even provides books. At Hastings College, you'll go somewhere. Go to hastings.edu/discover for more.
Bottom of the 3rd inning as the Sodbusters come back to bat against Braden Curtis. Our opposing libero, as so well put by Steve Stein there, is now in right field. Can always spot him with that white cap, Mr. Tyler Palmer, who was caught stealing, thrown out by Rusty Wortman on the bases. He is now in right field. Trey Mungin will move back to center field, and Jackson Trout will move from right to left field. Infield remains the same, and Josh Printer first man up for the Sodbusters. Swinging first pitch, popping it up softly on the infield. Cunningham calling and makes the catch just shy of the infield grass. One pitch and one out as Printer is retired.
You know, Palmer, he's already off to kind of an unusual start, not only playing 3 different positions, but it's not very often you get caught stealing. He struck out. I'm thinking, when he's on the mound, he can balk, maybe throw a wild pitch. He can get about every stat in the book before this is all said and done.
You think he could fill up a baseball bingo card just by himself?
No kidding.
I bet if he wanted to, he could.
Catcher, pass ball,
Yep.
he could there aren't very many guys who have a wild pitch and a pass ball in the same game.
If you're a catcher, you got to throw a guy out, get a caught stealing.
True,
there
got to
too.
look at the positive sides too.
There's Taylor Gill, top of the lineup for the Sodbusters, and all Taylor Gill has done is hit for the Sodbusters in his week plus. Smokes that, and there's another one. They're actually going to throw to first, and Gill just beats the throw. Tyler Palmer trying to go the old 9-3 put out, but Taylor Gill is on board with the 1-out single.
Now that would have been one for his record book.
Yep.
And his 9 innings if he gets a 9-3 throw out. And yeah, that was uncomfortably close. If the Sodbusters don't have a good runner there, they may actually get a 9-3 force out.
So Taylor Gill is on board, and like we've said, all he's done is hit, and he's got a 6-game hitting streak now in 8 games played. Lane Shires takes strike 1 on the outer corner. Like we said earlier, Shires, last night's hero, ended up going 3 for 4, and excluding the game where he came on as a pinch hitter and walked, he has a 7-game hit streak now. Slash to the parking lot, and that'll get out of play. And Curtis sitting upper 80s and has touched 90 with his fastball a handful of times. Shires with his first inning single is now 12 for his last 29. They pick off to first, and back in time is Gill. Doing the quick math there, that is the tune of a 4.14, 4.14 batting average in that span for Shires. That one's way back to the screen, and no chance for DeMeo to knock that one down. But Taylor Gill is at second base on the wild pitch, and just like we saw the first pitch of the game, that one was just overthrown a little bit, and Curtis will take a sec to reset himself on the mound. Taylor Gill with the single with 1 out. Sodbusters now with 3 hits, 1 in each inning so far. No runs yet to show for it. But good opportunity here with runner in scoring position and 1 out. Soft ground ball, and picking that up and firing over is Cannon. And he retires Shires by a step. And there are 2 outs, and Taylor Gill remains at second base.
See if Cal Jensen can come through. Again, any hit to the outfield with Gill's speed, a decent chance to get Gill home.
Jensen with a nice day yesterday, had 2 singles and walked. And he's a guy who, against the Prospects, 333 hitter, 6 for 18, and has 5 walks. Pitch number 1 is down low, 1-0 to Cale Jensen. Cale Jensen from Central City. Going to be playing baseball at North Dakota State. The 1-0 to him is up high for ball 2, 2-0 to Jensen. Big gap in left center field for Jensen if he can go the opposite way, the right side of the infield. Not necessarily playing Jensen to pull, which he does. 2-0. Soft looper to shortstop. Cunningham going back and drops the ball. Taylor Gill coming around, and he will score the first run of the game. Put it in play. Cale Jensen, see what happens. And Cunningham could not make the running catch. And Jensen reaches, and Taylor Gill scores. We'll see how they score that, if they give an error or a hit to Jensen, but nonetheless, it's 1-0 Hastings.
We'll see. I mean, Cunningham had to fade back. Certainly not an easy play, not a routine play at all, and the Sodbusters able to grab the lead, getting Gill into scoring position, huge, and Jensen comes through.
And they will give Jensen an RBI single for that. Like we said, tough play for Cunningham, not the easiest play. So they give him the base hit. Here's Marcos Cabranes. And now with Jensen at first, give him 23 RBIs on the year, good for second among active Sodbusters. 0-1 to Marcos is way outside. Count improves to 1-1. So that wild pitch in the at-bat of Lane Shires proves big as Gill's able to advance to second, get himself in scoring position without the benefit of an out or even a hit or a walk, and Sodbusters take advantage in game number 2. 1-1 and off the glove of DeMeo and back to the screen, and Cale Jensen will get himself into scoring position now, and DeMeo had a glove on it but could not squeeze it. Another runner in scoring position for the Sodbusters.
Sodbusters trying to make it hurt here. You got a pretty good guy up at the plate to try to bring home Jensen from second base.
So now 2 wild pitches in the inning for Braden Curtis. Now Cabranes ahead 2-1. Pitch to him. Breaking ball misses, not by much. And the count goes to 3-1. Pretty good pitch according to us. But Jason Seitz early on not giving that low strike to either side so far. Curtis delivers. There's a strike at the top of the zone. Count goes to 3-2 now. So Jensen at second, Cabranes at bat. Looking to continue his hitting ways at the plate. Payoff, wave and a miss in the dirt. DeMeo picks it up, will head inside, toss down to first, and in time to complete the strikeout. Sodbusters strike first. They get a run home and an RBI single from Cale Jensen, and they take a 1-0 lead into the 4th inning. We'll be right back on Sodbuster Baseball.
Blue Fork Kitchen features elevated comfort food in a family-friendly, fast casual environment. With a full menu, you can sit down for a nice meal or order online for pickup. From salads and wraps to burgers and steaks, Blue Fork Kitchen has your kind of food. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 11 to 9 p.m., and Friday and Saturday, 11 to 10 p.m., with a special brunch buffet Sunday from 9 to 2 p.m. Blue Fork Kitchen is located in the Cimarron Plaza, 38th and Osborne Drive in Hastings. Like them on Facebook.
Sodbuster Baseball is sponsored by Jerry Spady Chevrolet GMC. It's one of the many ways Jerry and Greg Spady, along with their families and employees, have proudly embraced a passion for giving back to the community. The folks at Jerry Spady Chevrolet GMC realize the importance of enriching and improving the lives of their neighbors. They've accomplished this through philanthropy and active personal involvement. Featuring the top new and used inventory in the region and a certified service department, Jerry Spady Chevrolet GMC, 2750 Osborne Drive East in Hastings, or at spady.com.
3 completed Duncan Field. Sodbusters grab the lead early. Thanks to a Cale Jensen RBI single, they hold a 1-0 advantage over the Nebraska Prospects. Ryan Valenta, Steve Stein bringing you all the action from Game 2 of 3 as we see the Prospects one final time, and so the Sodbusters wrapping up their 9-game homestand here at Duncan Field, which started on Tuesday last week. Sodbusters in that stretch, won Game 1 against the Prospects to start the homestand. They then dropped a doubleheader, took 2 out of 3 from the Oahe Zaps, so pretty successful so far. 4-3 record on this homestand, with today and tomorrow to go against the Prospects. One of the better, if not the best team record-wise in the Independence League right now. Fred Juden back on the mound, delivers strike 1 to Sid DeMeo. DeMeo was having a tough time behind the plate last inning as his pitcher was a little wild. He smokes that into center field, but Shires, maybe 5 steps to his right, is right there and puts it away for out number 1. 1 up and 1 down, and Fred Juden's looking pretty good here so far.
We've seen Shires' range as he's gone to both gaps during the course of this year. That was about the easiest chance he's had and made it look easy.
Lights are on here at Duncan Field. The sky looks a little ominous to the east, but we appear to be out of any harm's way for the time being, at least. As Scott said, just get through 4 or 5 innings with the lead and say, all right, good enough. Get that as a complete game and a sodbuster win. And he offered that one as Joel Benish, now with the 1-1 count. Benish singled and was stranded in the second. For just joining us, Prospects loaded the bases in the second inning with nobody out, but could not score. Curveball from Juden gets the zone for strike 2, and Benish now facing a 1-2 count. Right-hander delivers. Curveball again, but this one just a little too low, and Benish lays off. These are two teams that like hitting against one another. Just 5 combined hits in 3 innings. Breaking ball, tried the front door, but the door was locked there, according to home plate umpire Jason Seitz. So now another payoff pitch. That breaking ball floating in at 73. Inside, and it hit him. So Benish wears the pitch. Would have been ball 4 anyways. And he is on for the second consecutive time here in 2 innings.
Unfortunate, Fred thought he got strike 3, and sometimes it's so tough to focus when you think the call goes your way, and Fred unable to complete the out. Now hopefully he can bear down and do what he did back in the second and work out of any potential difficulty.
Jackson Trout has hit sodbuster pitching well. He bats with 1 on and 1 out. Breaking ball this time. The front door's open and gets the call there, 0-1. So runner at first with 1 out, Trout the batter. Juden delivers inside, and Trout spins out of the way. Count goes to 1-1. Trout, another UNO guy. Team leading 23 runs batted in. He added to that total last night with an RBI single. 1-1 to him, breaking ball and swinging and fouling that back to the parking lot. It's 1-2. Prospects hitting .289 as a team. 336 hits in 32 games. As they wrap up their season here at Duncan Field this week. Way high above the head for strike 2. And Trout listed at 6'5", a little too high for him to offer. 2-2 in the dirt, and now the count goes full once again. And Trout facing a full count, trying to reach for the second time in as many appearances for him. Juden can locate his pitches. He has been pretty good. Try and get one in there and let your defense do the rest. 3-2 in the dirt, and ball 4, and 2 consecutive free passes will put runners on first and second with 1 out, and Juden walks his 3rd man of the game.
And it was Benish, Trout, and Young who all reached in the second. After 1 out this inning here in the 4th, Benish and Trout are aboard again.
So it'll be up to Caden Young now. He bats from the left-handed batter's box. Caden Young has been one of the few exception of the good hitters against the sodbusters on this team. The first pitch to him is a breaking ball, and that finds the zone. So 0-1 to Caden Young. Young walked in the second inning and was stranded. Coming into the game, Young 2 for 15 against sodbuster pitching, but has reached base 4 times via walk and driven in 4 runs. Ground ball to first. Gaz collects it, thinks about second, but wisely will step on the bag at first. And big second out, and now you have runners at second and third. And Trey Mungin coming to the plate.
I know Landon Gaz this summer, one of his focuses is trying to get better at defense, and part of that decision-making, he kind of struggled with his throws to second. I think it was the right call right there just to make sure you get the out and see if you can get this 3rd out with no damage done.
Yeah, maybe you have just 1 runner in scoring position, but you risk the possibility of a bad throw and Benish scoring to tie the game, and now you have a chance to get out of this inning here. Good block by Wortman, and Mungin got a piece of turf in his eye as that ball kicked up right in front of him. Not the first time we've seen that happen to a hitter at Duncan Field this year. That was little, as we called them in high school, turf turds can kick up into your eye and cause some havoc. The 1-0 to Trey Mungin. Just got a piece of that one and fouls it back. Count goes to 1-1. Mungin has a 4-hit game against the Sodbusters. He did that a month ago today on June 19th, where he went 4 for 6 here at Duncan Field. 1-1 grounded foul down the third base line, and count goes to 1-2 with 2 outs. Pretty quiet here at Duncan Field in terms of the wind. Swing and a miss. Went to the curveball at the top of the zone, and Juden strikes him out to end the inning. 4 strikeouts for Fred Juden through 4 innings, and we will go to the bottom of the 4th. Sodbusters leading 1-0.
Sodbuster Baseball is sponsored by Jerry Spady Chevrolet GMC. It's one of the many ways Jerry and Greg Spady, along with their families and employees, have proudly embraced a passion for giving back to the community. The folks at Jerry Spady Chevrolet GMC realize the importance of enriching and improving the lives of their neighbors. They've accomplished this through philanthropy and active personal involvement. Featuring the top new and used inventory in the region and a certified service department, Jerry Spady Chevrolet GMC, 2750 Osborne Drive East in Hastings, or at spady.com. Make your next pit stop at the Coach's Corner, a friendly staff and a deep lineup of snacks. You can find Coach's Corner in North Hastings on Osborne Drive East. More than just a gas station, Coach's Corner is the place to get delicious pizza made fresh for you and your family. Don't take our word for it. It's so good it'll be featured at selected Sodbuster home games this season. For a convenient and clean experience, be sure to check out the new convenience store in North Hastings, Coach's Corner.
Sodbuster Baseball, we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Sodbusters holding a small 1-run advantage. 4 hits for the Sodbusters, 1 hit for the Prospects. And where's Mr. Palmer? Let's see. Oh, there's the Whitecap at third base. Easy to spot out here as Palmer will play his 4th different position in as many innings as he moves over to first base. Jackson Trout remains in left field. Trey Mungin in center field, and
it's like Braden Cannon has moved to second, and Easton Swafford's in right.
Very good. Try to be as best as we can with these defensive changes, but Prospects are going to be doing a lot of them here today. Braden Curtis pitches to Nick Jones, and he misses with 2 straight, and the count goes to 2-0. We mentioned earlier in the game in 23 and 2/3 innings pitch, Curtis had only walked 5 men, and he goes 3-0 to Nick Jones. Just today he's only walked the 1 man, but he has been pitching from behind in counts a little too much. He'll do that to Nick Jones and misses on 4 straight. Thought they might have had the call at the bottom of the plate of the fastball, but Jones is on board with his 2nd walk, and both walks have been to Mr. Jones.
Jones extends his team lead in that category. Just a tremendous eye. He's always going to give you a professional at bat, and hot-hitting Anthony Chavez tries to move him on.
Like you said, Chavez has been very good at the plate for the Sodbusters. He bats with 1 on and nobody out. Fastball misses the corner, and it is 1-0. Chavez almost got the day off yesterday, but came on as a defensive replacement and did not get an at-bat, but he has a 4-game hit streak going right now and has hits safely in 6 of his last 7 games. Fly ball to the right side, shallow, coming in, and making the play is Easton Swafford, a fresh new right fielder out there, and makes the play for out number 1.
Chavez hoping to move the guy on, didn't get it done. We'll see what the bottom of the order can do as 7, 8, and 9 coming up with a runner at first.
And Rusty Wortman will bat here with 1 out. Wortman flew out to Tyler Palmer in left field, who is now at third base. Takes high for ball 1, and Cannon has been, or Curtis rather, has been right around the zone, but just missing. The 1-0-2. Wortman is hit to right field, and that burns the right fielder and is over his head. Jones hits the bag at second, heading for third. He gets the green light from Joel Skipper. Wortman going all the way around to third, and he will make it standing up. Rusty Wortman with the ball over the head of Swafford in right field and makes the Prospects pay. An RBI triple, scores Nick Jones, and Wortman is at third with 1 out.
And you wonder how much right field Easton Swafford has played in his career. Like I say, they're moving things around so Tyler Palmer could play every position. And don't you know, your new right fielder has one hit at him. Although that was a rocket, and everyday right fielder may have had a tough one with that one, but a great job for Wortman, and the Sodbusters extend the lead.
Hit to center field. Mungin going back, and he gets burned over the head of Mungin in center field, and back-to-back extra base hits, this time for Landon Gaz, and he has another extra base hit, brings home Rusty Wortman, and the Sodbusters take a 3-0 lead here in the fourth, and 2 consecutive plays the Prospects have had balls go over their heads.
Shots for the Sodbusters, 7 and 8 hitters, Wortman and Gaz. And how about Josh Printer? And he's not a guy who generally drives it over somebody's head. He's a good double producer, but more of a gap guy. We'll see what he can come up with it as he tries to bring home a run.
He bats with 1 out, swinging first pitch and fouling it back. Printer also trying to get the day off yesterday, ended up having to come on later in the innings. Been nursing a throwing hand issue, which has, according to Joel Skipper, has been bothering him for a good portion of the season. But he bats today. He appears to be healthy enough to swing the bat, and didn't look like he had any problem on that first swing. But the count's 1-1. 6 hits now for the Sodbusters. 2 extra base hits coming in this inning. They have hit in every inning against Braden Curtis. In the dirt, smothered by DeMeo, keeps it in front. And the count goes to 2-1, and your top of the order is lurking on deck. So Gaz with the ringing double stands at second. He is in scoring position with 1 out. Fastball misses outside, and it's now 3-1. Curtis now with 61 pitches. And he is only pitched through 3 1/3 here. 3-1, and Printer spoils that out of play and not happy with himself. He thinks he wants to have that one back. And I think he would. Fastball right down the middle, but Printer not able to put it in play. Printer with 4 hits against the Prospects and 6 games played, all of them going just for singles. So the team doubles leader at Allen Community College, looking for a double right here. And another one out of play. The count remains 3-2 as Printer putting up a good fight here with 1 out. Outfielders, opposing outfielders for that matter, at Duncan Field have been so good at getting reads on balls, chasing them down, and making spectacular plays. Sodbusters have taken advantage of their defense in this inning. Called strike 3 and a perfect pitch right on the outside part of the plate. And Printer's retired looking. They're 2 outs in the inning.
But you still got a chance here with Taylor Gill, who singled his last time up, to get that runner home from second, Landon Gaz, who doubled in Rusty Wortman.
Gill started off with 1 out in the third, singled and ended up scoring, and that wild pitch proved big as Jensen was able to drive him in. Into left center field and down for a base hit. Gaz will come around third, and he will score. Now 3 runs in the inning for the Sodbusters. It is now 4-0 as Taylor Gill drives in another run, give him RBI number 7 on the year, and it is 4-0 Hastings.
And getting it done with 2 outs. You saw Cale Jensen with a 2-out single last inning to bring home a run. What a difference a week makes after Braden Curtis was fairly dominant against the Sodbusters. They have put up 4 against him, and we're not through 4 yet today.
Lane Shires will be the next man, and he shoots a base hit to right field. Gale Gill hits the bag at second, on his way to third. The throw is in from Swafford in time, and out at third is Gill trying to advance from first to third. Easton Swafford in right field shows off the arm, and Lane Shires gets a base hit, but we'll have to settle for that as the Sodbusters strand 2, but not before they score 3 times and take a 4-0 lead headed into the 5th inning.
Are you tired of lousy internet and faceless customer service? It's time to experience local, honest, hassle-free, and exceptional. That's the Allo promise. We not only provide crazy fast fiber internet, crystal clear TV, and dependable phone service, but we choose to become a part of the communities we serve and love when everyone calls or stops by our store to say Allo. So don't settle for mediocre, settle for exceptional with Allo. Visit us at allofiber.com/local.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here. I feel better already.
The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Bring you Sodbuster Baseball as we head to the 5th inning. It's Steve Stein taking over for Ryan Valente. He's going to go take some pictures. You can see them on social media as the week progresses. The Nebraska Prospects are going to be playing their 8-9-1 against Fred Juden, who has been outstanding so far for the Hastings Sodbusters. Maybe Fred's best outing of the year. See if he can find a way to work his way through the 5th and qualify for the win. Fred, a little elevated pitch count, but from the way things have been going, you'll take 4 scoreless against this Nebraska Prospect squad, even though he has thrown 70 pitches and worked out of a couple of huge jams. Here's Nate Cunningham, the number 8 hitter, taking ball 1 ball and no strikes, as we're joined by the owner and general manager, Scott Galusha. Welcome to the booth, and good to have you up here as the second pitch coming from Fred Juden, and Cunningham. Big swing, no contact, 1 ball and 1 strike on Nate Cunningham.
You know, really happy for Fred. Fred's been working hard. Last couple outings haven't been quite what he wanted to, and we really just did one thing. We said, you're waiting, you're too long between pitches, got to speed you up, got to get going, and he's had much better rhythm today. And, you know, he's caused himself some grief, but able to get out of it. A couple good defensive plays behind him, but really happy for Fred because that young man works really hard.
And you look at it's the same pitching matchup as we had a week ago in that 7-inning doubleheader that was won by the Prospects 9-3. A total turnaround it is. Sodbusters doing a good job against Braden Curtis to put up 4 runs and 8 hits already.
Yeah, 8 hits against unfortunate there. You could see him look down for the bag.
Yep. Landon Gaz over to field it. Fred Juden covering, and they could not make the play. Give the air to Fred. I guess it wasn't a terrible throw, and so now there is a man aboard here with nobody out.
Yeah, unfortunate. We've done a nice job of getting the leader, and again, you could just see pretty good execution there. You just see Fred look for the bag a little bit early before he caught it, and unfortunately, that's a guy on base, but a good pitch. Sawed him off and had a soft contact, so good job.
Pitch across for a strike against the number 9 hitter, Braden Cannon, who grounded out to second his first time up. You take something similar right here and perhaps have an opportunity to turn 2. Double plays have been big for the Sodbusters, particularly in that scoreless second when bases loaded, nobody out, but a strikeout and a double play to end the frame for Fred to keep him going, and now he's staked to a 4-run lead.
Yeah, you know, he did a good job getting that first strikeout. That was big for him, and then got that in-between contact to Xavi and did a nice job turning the double play.
1 ball and 1 strike as Fred Juden brings it home. Off speed, beauty right on the inside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Braden Cannon.
You know, you just 6 days ago, I guess, he was out there and you just knew he didn't have confidence.
Yep.
He was steering it. He was guiding it. He wasn't.
Pitch hit. 1-2 pitch hits the number 9 hitter, and that is never pleasant. I know Braden Cannon not happy, but that's certainly not what Fred Juden wanted to do right there. Now there's first and second at the top of the order coming up. Palmer, Swafford, and DeMeo.
Yep. But again, you can tell he's got confidence. He's pitching tonight. The last couple times out, he was out there throwing, just kind of hoping to throw strikes. He's done a really good job. mixing his pitches up today, and really happy for Fred.
And there's been a lot of those success stories at different times this year, most notably Luke Wenzel as of late, as he has really turned the corner. Tanner Johnson's had his moments as he is leading the team in appearances this year, and he had a tremendous outing a couple of games ago. So those kinds of success stories you kind of celebrate for guys who maybe have scuffled some this summer.
Yeah, it's just a testament to how hard these kids are working, and that's what we like to see. Kids that aren't satisfied, aren't dejected, even though things aren't going their way. They're working hard and continue to put the work in, and it's nice to see all three of those guys, plus a couple of our hitters have done a really good job lately. I know we're talking about pitching right now, and we should, because that's been a big difference for us lately. But these kids are putting in the time and working, and we, when we're not playing, we're practicing, and we're getting our bullpens in, and so kids are getting better, and it's really nice to see.
And Tyler Palmer at the plate, 2 on, nobody out. This is a big inning for Fred, trying to work his way through the 5th and brings this pitch over. He's got 2 strikes on Palmer. He struck him out once. Palmer, a neat story here for the opposing team, playing every position today. And I love you, Trevor Varley. He's putting him in a white hat, so you know where he's at. And now the Sodbusters trying to strike him out again.
Thank goodness. I thought he was going to get him again.
Just off the inside part of the plate, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nearly got a piece of Palmer, who's struck out and walked so far today.
Yeah, Tyler's parents were here at 5 o'clock, and we were talking, and Trevor and I were talking about everything earlier. So
high throw. Chavez was able to charge in, make a pretty good play, but he threw it high. Gaz went up to get it, but couldn't come down on the plate. And man, oh man, there's 2 errors in the inning to go along with a hit batsman. The door is open for the Prospects in a 4-0 deficit, but they have the table set for them, basically.
Yeah, again, unfortunately, good. This is good, I think, Vinny's to settle him down a little bit, because he's got, he hit a guy with a 1-2 pitch, and he's got soft contact twice, and we got nothing to show for it. So we've got to refocus here and minimize, and we're doing a nice job.
There is action behind him as Luke Wenzel is getting ready for the Hastings Sodbusters. You want to give Fred every opportunity to try to complete this inning. And if you're thinking, well, there's no way they're going to get out of this with no damage done, look back to the second one. It was an identical situation, and the Sodbusters able to find a way.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen very often. Now you're just trying to minimize. If you get out of this with 2 runs allowed, you feel pretty good about it.
Exactly. Well, we want to get an out here. That's what we want to do. We want to get an out here and stop the bleeding a little bit. And again, Fred's pitching well. It's not like they've been hammering the ball around against him. Soft contact twice, and we just weren't able to make the play. So we'll get it taken care of. Got to make some good pitches here and just make sure we get 1 here and stem the tide a little bit.
So we're in the 5th inning, a pivotal inning for these 2 teams. Bouncing ball right side, that's a base hit. There will be runners at the bases again. The best hit of this inning is Easton Swafford solidly into right field to bring home a run, and now it's 4-1. Bases still loaded and nobody out.
That's what we wanted. We wanted early contact again, but nice job, solid single to right, but it got a ground ball in the right spot there.
And now here's Sid DeMayo. DeMayo's 0 for 2 on the day. This is a very good hitting Prospects team, batting .288 for the summer. And here's a line drive right at Chavez, who dives for the bag, but safe. Good job for Chavez to get the 1 out there on the rocket from DeMayo. Nearly had a double play. Great base running for Braden Cannon, who scampers back in just in front of Chavez.
Fantastic instincts by Mr. Cannon. He made a nice play earlier today. Made it looks like a pretty tough play. He made it look easy, and that's just instincts, because you're supposed to be doubled on that play. Good play by number 17. I can't remember his first name, but Cannon is his last name. Talked to him most of the game. Nice kid over there at third, but really good instincts by him there. Saved them an out.
Braden Cannon is that.
Braden, there you go.
Yep, the kid who ended up taking the loss yesterday on the mound for the Nebraska Prospects. As Hastings, a nice win. Would have liked to see it end in 9, but you'll take the win in 10 for a 3-game winning streak.
There's no pictures, Steve. Surely we've done a lot to make things more difficult than it should be at time to time, whether we're on the right side or the wrong side of the ledger. But, again, night in, night out, and our fans are appreciative. We compete. We just get after it and don't stop. Keep working hard.
Here's Joel Benish. Benish down to the count 0-2. Really tough
Got
out.
him.
But they get him in 3 pitches. A great job for Fred Juden to get Joel Benish, who has torn the Sodbusters up in limited playing time. He had reached base twice in this game. He goes down looking, and Fred a chance to survive this inning with just 1 run allowed as Rusty Wortman out to visit with Fred Juden and Jackson Trout, the last hope. Noper's going to be a pinch hitter.
No. That was just.
Oh, this is the visit.
Yeah,
Okay,
he was just making sure that we knew that was a visit.
Yeah, it was a visit. So it is Jackson Trout still at the plate. I thought they had pointed to Jackson, but Jackson's still in the game. For
No,
this
they gave you
squad.
the C because Jason heard our coaches say go talk to him.
Okay.
And they don't let you get away with that anymore. They charge you a visit for that.
Pitch across for strike, no balls and 1 strike. Trout's been aboard twice as he was hit by a pitch and walked. His first 2 plate appearances, still 0 for 0. Sodbusters lead this one 4-1. Bottom of the 5th. I should say top of the 5th as Hastings trying to get through this 5th inning for Fred Juden, and the pitch just misses. 1 ball and 1 strike on Trout.
Looked like the same spot, right or left. Maybe a touch low there. Jackson's a pretty good sized kid.
As a 1-1 count, Fred Juden, one of his better outings of the summer, trying to survive this 5th inning with no more damage done, and a little foul ball over on the prospect side. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Jackson Trout.
Again, his ball, he's got better spin rates today. His ball's moving a little bit more. He's got a lot of soft contact today. And again, I know they have a big chance here, but they still haven't been hitting the ball real hard against him.
Fred Juden working out of the stretch here for the Hastings Sodbusters. 1-2 delivery and missed with the off-speed high. It's now 2 balls and 2 strikes. So speaking of pitching, Marcus Miller, another outstanding outing for a no decision yesterday. He's had a couple of those in recent weeks, but really kind of putting some demons behind him as the prospects had scored a lot of runs in him and against him 2 previous starts.
You know,
Marcus was really good yesterday.
It's hard enough to face these guys once. Marcus is, that's a good piece of hitting there, and that's going to be 2 at least here.
Yep, line drive, base hit. This is going to be a double for Trout. 2-run score, and the prospects are within a run as Jackson Trout comes up with a big 2-2, 2-out double to bring home 2. And the prospects just within a run now as Juden trying to find a way to get out of this inning.
I think it was a good pitch. It was the inner part of the plate. He pulled his hands in and got the barrel to it. So, again, I like the execution there. Wasn't a miss by Juden, just better hitting that time. And, boy, when you get good hitting going, it's hard to beat. So that was a good pitch by Fred. Just a better job by Jackson to try to get that, or to muscle that, I guess I'd call that, to left field.
And Caden Young is 0 for 1, steps in, tries to keep this inning going. That's the thing about it, these prospects, once they get going, they are really tough to stop. That's why you just hated giving them an opportunity. Error hit batsman an error to open the inning.
Yep.
And then they get a single before the Sodbusters got 2 outs, but then the 2-out double for Trout to really salvage the inning, and now the prospect's not done. They could grab the lead for the first time with a hit here. Big swing, no contact, no balls, 2 strikes on Caden Young.
Another good pitch by Fred. And again, his misses have been around the zone today too. So a lot of really competitive pitches for the most part, minus that 2-2 breaking ball we saw the Trout.
0-2 pitch right here. Can he finish the deal? Hit hard to center field. Actually, not hit hard to center field. It sounded hard off the bat, but right at the end of the bat, and it's Josh Printer in short center field. The shortstop making the play after all of that. 3-run score. And I know you would have liked to maybe get out of there with 1, but you're happy to have the lead after 5. And Fred qualifying for the win if he can go on and win this thing.
Yeah, and well deserved. He did a great job of getting himself out of that mess. You can't hit guys, but we got to be able to field ground balls and throw them. And made a couple mistakes, and that's going to cause us some grief.
As the Hastings Sodbusters do have the lead by a score of 4-3, and we'll keep you here, Scott. And I'll tell you what, looks like it's going to be a fun group in town. You've got big groups coming in for games next week. It's hard to believe we're just a week and a half away from the end of the season.
I know. We go to work. We go to work really early in the year. Trevor and I start before Thanksgiving, and it's a battle once we get here. And when we get here, baseball seems like it's kind of a sprint. So it is amazing. It is amazing that we just have. After tonight we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 10 games left at home anyway, and then we have the 1 road trip coming up next week. So it does go fast once you get here. For a while, Trevor and I, are we ever going to get to baseball? And once you get there, it's a track meet.
Yeah.
Yep.
And by the libero for the Nebraska prospects is going to be at shortstop this inning. Tyler Palmer moving over. Trevor Varley came up with that because he said, we're putting him in a white hat. He's like our libero, going to move him to a different spot every inning. And so that's been kind of a fun side note to this game. And Tyler Palmer is playing the shortstop position for the Nebraska prospects here in the 5th.
I talked to him when he was at third base a little bit, and I talked to him before the game some, but he said his favorite place to play is pitch.
Yeah, I asked him the same thing, and everybody razzed him about that. He said, I'm a pitcher at heart.
I'm a pitcher at heart. So he's excited to get up there today. He was his coaches were a little worried about him. He was pretty excited to do this today. So, and the pitching spot was the last one they knew they were going to let him do, according to Coach Varley. So,
Cale Jensen up there, and he swings and pops it up, and that one is going to be fielded by the third baseman as we see Braden Cannon return to his third base spot this inning, and there's one out after Cale Jensen pop up. Jensen 1 for 2, had a big 2-out single back in the third as the Sodbusters come up with some big 2-out hits today to take the 4-0 lead. It's now 4-3.
Done a much better job, and you know how baseball works. That his base hit was a little bleeder. The double play hit into was 93 off the bat. So welcome to baseball. You crush one and you get a double play for it, and you hit a little bleeder and you get an RBI and a 2-out hit for it. That's why this is such a great game.
And meanwhile, speaking of one of the anomalies, Braden Curtis has struck out Marcos Cabranes twice. Marcos doesn't strike out a whole lot.
No.
Curtis brings home a 1-0 pitch here, and that's low for ball 2, 2 balls and no strikes.
You know, I thought he was guessing a little bit. I talked to him after his last at bat. You know, I thought he let a really good pitch go at 3-1, and then he waved at a breaking ball at 3-2, and that's, you just can't guess at this level. Guys are too good. You got to look for fastball and then adjust accordingly, and just got to get him to get his little bit of confidence back and see if he can find a barrel. And I would be surprised if he doesn't do so at some point during tonight's game.
Here comes a 2-1 pitch after Cabranes had a check swing foul. It's now 3-1. Soundbusters trying to get another base runner here against Braden Curtis, who really shut the Sodbusters down a week ago. But Curtis this week, Sodbusters been able to get to him pretty well, as Curtis pitch count is at 73 before this 5-pitch walk.
And testament to our kids. He's been 88, 89, 90, 91 all night too, and we've got 8 hits against him. So we're swinging the bat well and taking advantage of those opportunities, mixing a couple 2-out hits in that scenario, and good things usually happen when you get those 2-out hits.
Yeah, able to burn the outfielders back-to-back hits. Rusty Wortman with a triple and Landon Gaz with a double. That was cool.
That ball Rusty hit was absolutely smashed, and they were both really good hits. But that ball that Rusty hit, both those balls are out of just about everywhere we play.
Oh, no balls and a strike now on Nick Jones, as 2 walks to Jones as this pitch is hit hard into left field for a base hit. Jones, he take it the other way like he has been prone to do here at Duncan Field. Throw back behind Cabranes. He's back in safely. First and second, only 1 out with Chavez, Wortman, and Gaz trying to come through again.
That is a standard issue, Nick Jones. That's Nick Jones at his finest. And you know what? If you start throwing him inside, he will turn on the ball, but he is so good at just taking the ball the other way.
Yeah, if you just watch him for most of his bats, you think he always takes it the other way, but he's got one out of Duncan Field,
Absolutely.
A pull shot that was 400-plus feet.
You know, I don't know, did I talk about this yesterday? I'm not sure if I did.
I didn't interview you yesterday,
okay,
so it was Ryan,
all right.
so I haven't heard it.
I'll tell you the story.
Okay.
So, you know, you're not supposed to have favorites. I've been around a ton of kids in my 5 years of doing this. So blessed with the opportunity that I get to do this. But so I'll let the pitch come, and then I'll start telling you the story here.
There's Anthony Chavez up there now, and he is first pitch swinging. Hits this one high in the air to right center field, and that's going to be an out. No chance for advancement. There will be 2 outs now as the Sodbusters do lead it 4-3 here in the bottom of the 5th.
So Nick Jones stops me yesterday after BP and says, he calls me Mr. Scott, okay? He says, Mr. Scott, I just want to tell you how much this place means to me and how much I love this place. I said, well, thank you. And, you know, kind words from just a wonderful young man.
Here's Rusty Wortman, by the way, tripled and scored his last time up.
Good. Anyway, so he says, I really want to give you something. I said, you know, Nick, I don't need anything. I got I got memories, and I feel like I have an impact on some of these young men. I don't really need something, but if you want to give me something, fine. And he goes, well, I want to give you my home run ball, Duncan. I said,
how cool
no,
is
no,
that?
No. So, hang on. Come on, Rusty. Let's keep this inning going for us.
First and second, 2 outs. Wortman came through with the RBI triple his last time up. See if he can come through again here.
So anyway, I said, Nick, I really appreciate that, but that's not something that I'll take. He goes, well, you got to take it. I said, no, I don't. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Well, finally, come on, Rusty.
As a 1-1 count, runner goes. Cabranes to third, and no throw as Curtis totally losing track of him. Now, Sodbusters have a little bit different opportunity now with runners at the corners and a 2-1 count on Rusty Wortman.
Yeah, so finally after much deliberation, I said, hey, that's something. If it was a home run ball that you hit anywhere else to win a game, I'd take it. But hitting one out of here is special. And that's something that needs to be on your desk in your house so you can tell your kids that you're on the list, because, you know, that list isn't 90 people long in the history of this building. And so, I mean, it was just really neat that he was wanting to give it to me. He had it in his pocket. He tried to hand it to me. I'm like, no, you take that home and share that with your family. It's a really special thing. But it's so cool. You know, people don't see. They listen to you. They watch our games. They come to Duncan Field. But the coolest part of my job.
2-2 pitch up high. Another good at bat for Rusty Wortman, who's got a very good eye. Tremendous strikeout to walk ratio for the year for Rusty Wortman, trying to work his way on any way he can to get Landon Gazin at bat.
The best part of my job is getting to know all these young men, and the lifelong relationships that I have with, you know, upwards of 100 of them is such a cool thing, and it's something that I'll always cherish. And really, you know, you start doing this and you think, what's going to be the best part of your job? Well, I didn't think that this was going to be the best part of my job. There's a lot of choices, but just being around these kids for now 5 years is just really special. To get to know them all, and they're all really good kids and great examples for young kids to look at, and great examples for the young kids in our community.
Braden Curtis issues the walk to Wortman. Wortman falling down the count, battling all the way back. So the base is loaded, 2 outs now. Trevor Varley out to visit with Braden Curtis, who's now at 83 pitches. He's walked 4, he's struck out 4. And like I say, remember a week ago, Braden Curtis goes 6 innings, allows 2 runs, 1 earned on just 5 hits while striking out 2 to pick up the win in that 9-3 victory over the Sodbusters.
All right, Steve, I don't guess very often, but when the coach goes out there, you got to think, Landon's got to think fastball. He's trying to get ahead of me first pitch. Let her rip, Lando.
Here's the first pitch, and Gaz fouls it away. Just missed it.
Yep.
And no balls and a strike. And like Gaz, after he doubled on the first pitch the last time up, why not give it a shot?
Yep. You know, he just walked a guy. Bases are loaded. Pressure's on him. You know, the coach said, hey, we got to get ahead here. I'm glad he was aggressive and just didn't take one.
Gaz had been scuffling, but had a couple of good at-bats yesterday. Now, like I say, it was odd. He had a really good bat and a strikeout. He fouled off several pitches, and that seemed to turn him around. He got a hit after that, walked and scored a run, and then today he has come through as the pitch taken inside. 1 ball and 1 strike on Landon Gaz. It's a big adjustment from high school ball to facing college-level pitching every day.
Again, 6 weeks ago, this kid was in a high school classroom, and now he's pitching against, he's hitting against a Division I pitcher about 2,000 miles from home. So.
Bouncing ball back up the middle. The shortstop's got it. Steps on the bag, and that'll do it. That's Tyler Palmer. He gets his second chance of the day so far, as he had a fly out when he was in right field, and he ends up getting a put out there. Actually, I think he caught a fly ball. Almost had a really weird 9-3 put out when he was out in right field.
That's right.
Tyler Palmer, who's now playing a shortstop spot. So we'll get set to go for the 6th inning. Sticking around, Scott, or you
Yeah,
done?
no, I'm good. If you're okay, I'm good.
Yep, so Landon Gaz bounces into the fielder's choice. No runs across. We're through 5 innings, and it will be a new pitcher for the Hastings Sodbusters, as we will see Luke Wenzel come in. And Wenzel has been really good as of late. His season numbers, 1-1, a 7.24 ERA.
Steve, this is we got a different.
Oh, we got a different 13.
Yeah, a different 13 for some reason. It must.
is that Mackey?
Is
that Braden Mackey?
I think it's Tanner Johnson.
Oh, okay. Let me grab my binoculars here. Don't mess with us like that. Let's see.
I know, but it's not
no,
right.
It's not 13.
Not right.
That's not on our lineup. So let me grab where did I put my binoculars?
I am sure that's Tanner Johnson.
Because that's not a 3/4 delivery there.
No.
I don't know if you've got better eyes than I do. I don't know my kids well enough to make sure, but yeah, that Wenzel has that 3/4. And plus, Wenzel just pitched yesterday. I was kind of surprised. That would have been back-to-back days.
Yeah, that's Tanner Johnson.
Yep, okay. So Tanner Johnson wearing 13 today instead of 6, messing up the guy. And so Tanner Johnson will be in there. Maybe he's trying to channel his Luke Wenzel, as Wenzel has pitched pretty well here the last couple outings. Tanner Johnson, we'll give you his numbers. 5.81 ERA, a 1-1 record, making his 19th appearance. That's tops on the team. He's allowed 23 runs, 20 of those earned. And he has allowed 21 hits, struck out 22, walked 36, and hit 11. And Sunday against Oahe, went 3 innings, allowed 3 runs and 2 hits. Had a really tough day that day, walking 6 while striking out 1. We'll see if he can have a bounce-back performance against a very good prospects lineup, as Sodbusters do lead it 4-3, hitting into the 6th.
When Tanner's good, he's very, very good. And when he struggles, it's self-inflicted stuff. He's just got to be better around the strike zone. And 2 outings ago, he was fantastic. So we'd like to see that again. And I think a really good move to get Fred out of the game in the 5th. I know we probably could have won another one, but I think it's really positive to get him out there. And he, pitch count was a little high. He had too many 3-ball counts there early on in the game, but really good outing for Fred Juden.
Yep, Juden, he was just about pitched counted out anyway. He was at 96. Yeah, may have been able to get another inning out of him, but really wanted to see him leave with the lead, too.
Yep.
Trey Mungeon is swinging here at a 1-0 pitch, and Lane Shire's making it look easy, going back and making the catch in medium depth center field here at Duncan Field. He did a bit of a wall at a lot of other places, and Mungeon is 0 for 3.
That's a home run in Dickinson next weekend. Hey, I gotta say, Lane Shire's Lane has played for us a little bit in the previous year, and I knew one thing I wanted to do was try to get him to be a full-time sodbuster, and he was able to do that for us this year. Didn't get off to a very good start. Came to me and said, I just need a break. And I said, hey, you go do it. And I said, I'd like to have you back. And he goes, I would like to come back. And since he's been back, he's been the Lane Shires that I know. He's just a stalwart out there in center field, and better about every time out with the bat. And I don't know if you remember this or not, but do you know what position Lane Shires played in high school?
Catcher. Yeah, and he got burned out catching. He actually went to college as a catcher.
Yes.
And was bullpen catcher and just said, I can't stand this anymore.
No, I'm not doing this anymore.
So now he's an outfielder. Hey, good job there for Tanner Johnson to strike out Nate Cunningham. Cunningham's 0 for 3 with a run scored, and that'll bring out Braden Cannon. We'll just put it in perspective, and I had this and I was going to use it anyway, so you led right into me.
Perfect.
Lane Shires, when he left on June 13th, was hitting 160.
Yep.
And well over 400 since coming back. His season batting average coming into today at 274. So he has discovered his mojo. And sometimes you think 2 weeks off that will totally destroy your game and your rhythm. But talk about a rejuvenated Lane Shires, and that certainly has done him well. Raised his batting average over 100 points since coming back on June 30th.
Just done a fabulous job. And really, and he's had a lot of really quality at-bats, that don't show up in the stat book. And so, he's worked himself up to a top part of the lineup and a guy we can count on. And, I felt really good last night when he was up. I'm like, he's going to figure out a way to get this done, and he did. So really happy for Lane. And to see him come back after such struggles for him in that first part of the year is great, because he is just he's a special kid and a really good young man. He's going to be successful whatever he decides to do when baseball's done.
And his former Kearney teammate doing pretty well on the mound here. Tanner Johnson trying to work a 1-2-3 inning. The Sodbusters thought he had strike 3 on the inside corner. Instead, it is 3-2 now as the pitch is swung on and missed. Gets the strikeout anyway. And there's a nice bounce back already for Tanner Johnson. He works a 1-2-3 against these prospects. As you had enough?
Yep, I probably ought to get back to work. I would love to sit here. I would like this to be my job. Can we just switch? I'd like to sit here a long time.
No, we cannot switch.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. Yep, I'm out of here. Ryan's back, and you guys are ready to go. Let's take us home, get another victory. But nonetheless, good baseball game no matter what. Thanks, Steve.
4-3, Sodbusters with the lead, and we will have the bottom half of the 6th inning coming up next. This is Sodbuster Baseball.
Are you tired of lousy internet and faceless customer service? It's time to experience local, honest, hassle-free, and exceptional. That's the Allo promise. We not only provide crazy fast fiber internet, crystal clear TV, and dependable phone service, but we choose to become a part of the communities we serve and love when everyone calls or stops by our store to say "Allo." So don't settle for mediocre, settle for exceptional with Allo. Visit us at allofiber.com/local.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here. I feel better already.
The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
This Sodbuster baseball is the Hastings Sodbusters. They have a 4-3 lead, and we will see a new battery now for the Nebraska prospects as Braden Curtis gives way to Sam Rogge. Rogge, the right-hander, will step in there. 2-0, a 1.91 ERA, making his 10th appearance in 18 2/3 innings. He's allowed 7 runs on 14 hits, struck out 19, walked 10, hit 8, and has a one appearance against Hastings, went an inning and 2/3, did not allow a run back in the second meeting. And our libero for the Nebraska prospects, I couldn't find his white hat, and Ryan Valenta returned to the booth and said, "Oh yeah, he's catching. You wouldn't wear the white hat when you got the catcher's mask on." So Tyler Palmer goes behind the plate for the first time, and the only inning of the night. And fun game, 4-3, Sodbusters on top. Hats off to Fred Juden working his way through the fifth. Would still qualify for the win if the Sodbusters can maintain the lead.
Yeah, it's good to get Curtis out of the game. You know, Sodbusters had some success against him, but it was all in that fourth inning. But for Rogge, he will look to keep those zeros on the board, and Sodbusters trying to get this one home here. And how big would a series win be here against the prospects?
It would be a lot of fun, especially when you looked at the pitching matchup and you had Curtis and Juden in the rematch of a week ago, and the game was won by the prospects 9-3. To see Fred come out and pitch the way he did, and he allows 3 runs, none of them earned, by the way, in his outing. And it's certainly not going to be easy to hold him up. We'll have to see how it goes. And first pitch is way off the mark for Rogge. And he's a guy, one of the slower fastballs for this squad of prospects. He still hits 84 miles an hour. They have several guys pushing 90 or above in this good group of pitchers for the Nebraska prospects. 1-0 delivery, and this is bounced to the left side. Great smother job for Cannon. Gets up, throws in time, and Printer comes up a little bit lame. Hopefully he didn't hit the bag awkwardly as he will try to make his way back. Man, I'll tell you what, Braden Cannon has been really good at third base today.
Yeah, initially down the line, right after he hit the bag, it looked like he was a little ginger on his left leg, but kind of running it off now. And got to feel bad for Josh Printer. First the hand, now the leg. It just feels like his body is just trying to give up on him this summer. We'll hope he's all right.
And he wants to keep playing because he's still, as far as I know, looking for that 4-year college stop. So Chill's trying to compile some numbers, compile some film. Top of the order, Taylor Gill up there now, and Gill with a pair of singles, including a big 2-out RBI single back in the fourth. We're now in the bottom of the sixth. Fun game. Sodbusters on top by a score of 4-3. It was a 4-0 lead before 3 unearned runs across for the prospects in the fifth, as the Sodbusters trying to win for the second straight day against the prospects and win for the 4th time in a row. Quickly 0-2 on Taylor Gill for the Hastings Sodbusters. As the right-hander, Sam Rogge, working here in relief of Braden Curtis. Pitches outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And for Rogge, he's a Lincoln East graduate. Only good broadcasters and good baseball players go to Lincoln East High School.
Stop it. Stop it.
Hutchinson Community College guys. We've got our Spartan right next to us, the person of Ryan Valenta.
Oh, Steve, I love you. You're
1-2 delivery outside for ball 2, and the home of the 2023 state high school champion.
And Steve is talking about
his
fellow broadcaster who played 2 years of reserve baseball at Lincoln East, albeit they were probably they were the best years of my life. Playing high school baseball is just super fun.
A strikeout. They complete the strikeout to throw down to first base, and Taylor Gill has gone 2 up, 2 down for the Lincoln East guy, Rogge, and it'll be Lane Shires to try to get something going for the Hastings Sodbusters. Yeah, Lincoln East a really good year. They Metro has just dominated Class A baseball. It had been a long time since a Lincoln school had won a state championship, so pretty cool for the Spartans. Here is Lane Shires. Shires with 2 more hits today as he is 2 for 3 and continues to raise that batting average. You count 1 ball and no strikes his way. As we mentioned, had Ryan with the stat on his games recently, and then we broke it down with Scott Galusha on what Lane was hitting when he left on June 13. He was at 160, came back on June 30th, and has raised his batting average over 120 points since that time. I'd take 2 weeks off if I could get that kind of improvement in my job. Pitch taken high, 2 balls and a strike on Lane Shires.
And after talking to him last night in our little post-game interview, asked him, like, what's been the difference? And he said he's loading a lot better, keeping that weight back, able to stay on that breaking ball more and adjust to the fastball too is what's been his biggest success.
2-1 pitches bounce to the right side. First baseman's got it, dishes to the pitcher covering, and well played both ways as Young over to Raggi, and it's 1-2-3 for the Sodbusters here in the 6th. We head to inning number 7. Sodbusters on top of the Prospects 4-3, and this is Sodbuster Baseball.
There's nothing like relaxing on a summer day. Nothing like taking in a Hastings Sodbuster baseball game. And there's nothing like an ice-cold Pepsi to make the day perfect. Pepsi Cola of Hastings wants to make your nothing like be the best day it can be, whatever the occasion. Enjoy your favorite refreshing Pepsi product throughout the Sodbuster season and make your nothing like memories. Pepsi Cola of Hastings, a proud sponsor of Hastings Sodbuster Baseball.
Hastings Sodbusters Baseball's in full swing, bringing you another fun-filled summer of high-level collegiate wood-bat baseball at historic Duncan Field. A great way to spend a summer evening with your families at a Sodbusters baseball game. Go online to HastingsSodbusters.com for their home game schedule or to purchase tickets. Hastings Sodbusters Baseball. It's a hit.
Got the spirit of the game. The Hastings Sodbusters.
Hastings continues to lead the Nebraska Prospects 4-3 as we head to the 7th. Once again, Ryan Valenta.
Tanner Johnson back out on the mound, and I want to say in my time away from the booth, I think I was just as surprised as you were seeing 13 come out of the gate, but have him with those short pants and clean cuts there. Thought maybe Luke Wenzel got all of his hair chopped off by Team Barter Braden Mackey, but as Scott joked, Tanner probably just forgot his jersey today and probably don't expect to see Wenzel pitching today as he pitched in last night's contest. Here is the Mr. Do-It-All today, Tyler Palmer. He leads off the 7th inning for the Prospects after they went down 1-2-3 against Johnson in the 6th. Palmer grounds that foul to the left side, and Palmer just finished his inning in the field behind the plate. So he's gotten all 3 outfield positions, a couple of infield, and catcher now. Ground ball to the right side, and that will find no man's land for a base hit. A little bit of a miscommunication there. Landon Gaz kind of froze, thought that maybe Cabranes would get there, but he could not. And that is a leadoff hit for Tyler Palmer.
So Palmer, after striking out his first time up, he's reached base 3 straight times, tying run on, nobody out here in the 7th.
Just the 4th hit for the Prospects so far in the game. Did have 2 against Juden in the 5th. And runner goes, Palmer. He makes it this time as pitch in the dirt. Wortman tried to keep it close enough, but not quite. And Palmer steals the base, and Printer may be trying a little hidden ball trick, but Palmer stays on the base.
And Palmer asking for time. He's probably really happy to have his catching inning go as a 1-2-3 inning. You know, for the Sodbusters, you want to see him back there for as they bat around, just because that's not a position he probably plays a whole lot.
You know, catching a baseball is hard, and especially, catching a fastball, you know where it's going. Anything else is really tough, and especially if you're a middle infielder by trade, it can be tricky. Palmer crosses that one off the book. He's in scoring position with nobody out. Easton Swafford fouls that over the prospect dugout, and it's 1-1. Swafford 1 for 3 on the day with a single and a couple of ground outs. He singled part of that big 5th inning for the Prospects, which saw them cut the Sodbuster lead to 1. That is where we stand now. The pitch is outside. The count goes to 2-1. Oh, Tanner Johnson was perfect in his first inning. He trying to keep a 0 here on the board. Good pitch there, and Swafford caught looking at strike 2, and the count goes to 2-2. Swafford came into the series the team leader in hits, but was overtaken by Colin Lynham yesterday, who an anomaly. Have not seen either of the Lynham brothers today, and that's got to hurt. And Swafford bounces that off his ankle, and it lands right in his lap. Makes the grab and tosses it away to the dugout. Swafford with no protection near those ankles, so that can smart a little bit. Johnson ready with his 2-2 outside, and count goes to 3-2 as that breaking ball misses outside. So now full count pitch. Runner in scoring position. Johnson. That's a foul ball down the right field side, and we'll do it again at 3-2. 8 prospects came to bat in the 5th before Johnson came on in the 6th and set them down in order. A leadoff single and a wild pitch, and now a walk. So the first 2 are on with nobody out, and just like the first inning for Fred Juden, you set him down 1-2-3, and now you have some traffic on the base paths, and you have Sid DeMayo at the plate.
And 3, 4, 5. I mean, this lineup pretty good 1 through 9, but part of the order where the prospects like to be, and Tanner Johnson has to bear down here. The Sodbusters lose the lead.
9 hits for the Sodbusters, just 4 for the Prospects, yet they only trail by 1. Sid DeMayo bats. He is 0 for 3. Johnson keeping a close eye on Palmer at second. Just inside with the breaking ball, and it's 1-0. DeMayo behind the plate. Had a little bit of trouble in the early innings with Braden Curtis on the mound, who was a little wild with that heater. Up and in, and that buzzed the tower, and DeMayo's ahead 2-0. That'll prompt a mid-at-bat visit from Vinny Carone, and it's been a different team. The Sodbuster pitching staff has come around in the later games against the Prospects. Once over a 12 ERA, and could have been much higher, has now shrunk to just 7.65 against the Prospects. And this was a good team that has dominated most of the season. Shame they're not eligible for the playoffs, but for the Sodbusters to win 2 games and hanging tough in Game 3, it's been a nice bounce back for a team that's struggled.
And still a lead in this one, but Tanner Johnson looking totally different than he did last inning when he was rearing back and throwing, really aiming it this inning. Hopefully the visit from Vinny Carone has settled him down, and this is a pretty large at bat in the course of this game, with the Sodbusters clinging to a 4-3 lead, 2 on, nobody out in the 7th.
Next pitch, and that hit DeMayo, and Johnson hits the batter and loads the bases with nobody out. And man, oh man, these free passes just keep coming back to haunt the Sodbusters. And similar to the second inning, you have bases loaded with nobody out.
Oh boy, and now you got Joel Benish, and great job back in the 5th inning for Fred Juden to strike him out in a key situation. Although Jackson Trout followed the double, but this is not a guy you want up there with the bases loaded and nobody out.
So Palmer at third, Swafford at second, DeMayo at first for the Prospects. Looking to take the lead and more, but Benish swings over strike 1. That at 72, so took something off there. advantage Johnson for the moment. The 0-1, breaking ball, high call, but gets it for strike 2. And Benish down in the count 0-2. He reached the first 2 times, singled and was hit by a pitch, but struck out in the 5th. The 0-2, good pitch there. Got a breaking ball down and in, but Benish able to lay off. Like to see Johnson go right back to that, see if you can get a chase here. Went to the changeup that time, and it's low and in for ball 2. So primarily soft stuff from Johnson to Benish in this at-bat. Went to the fastball that time, but spiked it. So now from 0-2 to 3-2, and no place to put Joel Benish. Payoff pitch. Johnson gets his sign and delivers. Foul ball down the left field side, and Benish stays alive. He'll have another swing.
Central Nebraska's premier escape room business located in historic downtown.
Could be a big moment in the game here. Mentioned worked from 0-2 to full count. Let's see if Johnson can seal the deal. And he does. Called strike 3, and Benish is caught looking for the second straight time. Went pretty much exclusively with the soft stuff, and catches the bottom, or the top of the zone rather, at 68 miles an hour for strike 3.
Benish leads their team in home runs and had one that they mapped out on GPS at 450 feet up at Spearfish, one that landed on an adjacent building to a field up there.
450 feet is plenty deep to get out of Duncan Field, and probably plenty deep to get out in Spearfish. That's the monster shot. So now 1 out, bases remain loaded. You have Jackson Trout at the plate. And pitches inside. Count goes to 2-0. Trout added to his team lead in RBIs with a 2-run double back part of that big 5th inning. Breaking balls inside for ball 3. And now 3-0 to Trout, and now a ball away from tying this game. Got to figure the take sign is on here. Just if you can, pump one down the middle. But it's not close, and that's 4 straight. And Trout will get another RBI, his 3rd RBI of the game. And that puts him at 26 RBIs for the season, and that's going to be the end of the day for Tanner Johnson.
And fortunate for Tanner, who was so good in the 6th, but just did not discover the magic here in the 7th inning, and Hastings trying to find a way to minimize. A couple of unfortunate things here this inning for Tanner Johnson, the fact that Fred Juden now cannot qualify for the win despite 5 innings of outstanding ball. You think of Trout's 2-out double. Juden on the verge of allowing only 1 run through his 5 innings of work. Did not allow an earned run for Fred. Now the Sodbusters will turn to their 3rd pitcher of the day to try to keep it a 4-4 game.
We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back with our new pitcher on Sodbuster Baseball.
Let's face it, we move our bodies around a lot. And sometimes things happen. A tweak, twist, pull, strain, ache, or pain. At Fisk Chiropractic and Sports Care, their goal is to restore your mobility, keep you moving, and ensure your rehabilitation is effective, efficient, and stress-free. Do you suffer from headaches and neck pain, lower back or sciatica? Call Fisk Chiropractic and Sports Care today. Start to discover wellness through chiropractic care. Fisk Chiropractic Sports Clinic.com. Start feeling better now.
Hastings College has reimagined everything. As a sophomore, you'll spend part of a semester studying abroad, and they'll cover the cost. Recognizing it's a digital world and how you learn, they'll give you an iPad Pro and Apple Pencil, tools that'll help you engage, whether you're on campus or in Paris, plus internship opportunities and professors who mentor you. Hastings even provides books. At Hastings College, you'll go somewhere. Go to hastings.edu/discover for more.
Top of the 7th inning, Prospects have tied this game at 4 thanks to a bases-loaded walk from Jackson Trout, who drives in his 3rd run of the game. And For the Sodbusters, they will bring on Braden Mackey, a Hastings guy, who comes on in relief and comes on in a mess with the bases loaded. Mackey pitched at Cloud County Community College in the spring and had a little bit of trouble. I mean, he's been nursing that shoulder injury, but had some time off, but has shown he has the stuff early on against the Sodbusters. 11.1 innings pitched in the spring. That was all in just 9 appearances, where had a 9.53 ERA for the T-Birds. But Braden Mackey, a returner, like we've mentioned before, had a rough beginning to last year, but found it eventually, and Sodbusters call on him in a big opportunity to keep this game tied in the 7th. He'll have to go through Caden Young, who bats with the bases loaded. Young 0 for 2 with a walk. Backdoor breaking ball gets the call, and Mackey delivers strike 1 to Young. Young, a Columbus native, went to Norfolk and also Northeast Community College. Right back our way, and that's there, and 0-2 now to Caden Young. Young walked in the first, grounded out in the 4th and 5th innings. 0-2 from Mackey, spiked in, good block by Wortman to keep that in front, and the count moves 1-1. Sodbusters trying to win game number 3 against the Prospects. They'll have to hang a 0 to try and stay in this game here. 1-2, and again blocked by Wortman. Went to the breaking ball again, but spiked it. And again, from 0-2 to 2-2. Sodbusters have gotten strike 2 on the Prospect batters, but have not been able to put them away this inning, with the exception of Joel Benish. Left-hander in the box ready. The right-hander delivers. Way inside, and it's 3-2. Again, no place to put Young. And he is 1 ball away. Sodbusters 1 strike away. Big pitch for both sides here in the 7th. Payoff from Mackey to Young. Swing and a miss. Went to the fastball, and Young swings over it. And a big second out. The bases still remain loaded in a tie game.
Trey Mungin has had his moments against the Sodbusters, but not today. 0 for 3, the last hope to try to give his team the lead here in the 7th.
Mungin 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts versus Fred Juden. Swung and missed at that breaking ball both times to Juden. Let's see if Mackey does the same. Went with the breaking ball and gets the swing and the miss. So 0-1. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Mungin came into this series hitting .217, but has hit Sodbuster pitching well. Went to the fastball and gets the call at the knees. Once again, 0-2. And they find a way. Mackey delivers. Got him swinging. Mackey strikes out 2 as he comes on in relief, and the Sodbusters allow 1 but keep the game tied. We will go to the bottom of the 7th, tied at 4. Sodbusters coming up.
Let's face it, we move our bodies around a lot. And sometimes things happen. A tweak, twist, pull, strain, ache, or pain. At Fisk Chiropractic and Sports Care, their goal is to restore your mobility, keep you moving, and ensure your rehabilitation is effective, efficient, and stress-free. Do you suffer from headaches and neck pain, lower back or sciatica? Call Fisk Chiropractic and Sports Care today. Start to discover wellness through chiropractic care. Fisk Chiropractic Sports Clinic.com. Start feeling better now.
Hastings College has reimagined everything. As a sophomore, you'll spend part of a semester studying abroad, and they'll cover the cost. Recognizing it's a digital world and how you learn, they'll give you an iPad Pro and Apple Pencil. Tools that'll help you engage, whether you're on campus or in Paris. Plus internship opportunities and professors who mentor you. Hastings even provides books. At Hastings College, you'll go somewhere. Go to hastings.edu/discover for more.
Sodbusters escape further trouble in the 7th inning, and they look to regain the lead as this is a brand new ball game in Hastings. And like I mentioned, unfortunate, Fred Juden was in line to win the game, but Sodbusters not able to hold that lead. Well, the pitchers of record will start over here, with this being a 4-4 game. Ryan Valenta, Steve Stein bringing you game 2 of 3 against the Prospects here at Duncan Field. Sodbusters have found success against the Prospects as of late. They've won 2 of their last 4. And their last 2 losses were 7-inning doubleheaders. So I think if this was a 7-inning doubleheader, you get one and you walk it off here. But Sodbusters have a few more innings to go tonight as we approach 2 hours of game time here going into the stretch here at Hastings. Cale Jensen bats. And Tyler Palmer, thank you Nate Frew, is now at first base. I'd almost forgotten about our player of the game. He moves from catcher to first base. And Cale Jensen takes strike 1. It's 1-1. So you have Easton Swafford at second base, Caden Young at shortstop, Braden Cannon at third, and Cunningham goes out to right field. Mungeon and Trout remain the same in center and left. So Raggi back out on the mound for the Prospects. He came on to pitch last inning and was perfect through an inning. Smoke to right field, and that'll get down for a base hit for Cale Jensen, who has his second hit of the game, and he is 2 for 4, another multi-hit game for the Central City native.
Sodbusters, some parts of the lineup you would think, okay, maybe they're going to be bunting. Probably not here, even though Cabranes does handle it well, but you would think with their 4, 5, and 6 hitters coming up, these guys are all swinging as they try to move Jensen along and produce a big inning against Raggi.
1, 2, 3 hitters for the Sodbusters, now 6 for 12 in today's contest. They have 6 of the 10 Sodbuster hits, who are now in double digits. The bunt is down, but it will roll foul, and a late showing from Cabranes, and team leader in hits, but Sodbusters often call on Cabranes with his speed. And if you look at Trey Mungeon in center field, he is shaded over to the left center alley. There is green grass for miles in the right center field gap. See if he's bunting again. He is, but pulls it back. Back throw to first, and Jensen barely beats the throw. He's back in safely.
And DeMeo returning to behind the plate and made a really good throw.
Well, leadoff single. Cabranes trying to keep the line moving. Got probably your best hitters looming on deck. Pops up the bunt, and diving catch, and caught by the third baseman Cannon. And just barely got a glove under that one in front of the turf, and no argument from the Sodbuster dugout. Thought maybe it might have scooted on the ground, but makes the catch, and Cabranes cannot advance the runner.
Cabranes can't handle the bat, but he really struggled in those pitches, and that's partly due to the 84-mile-an-hour fastball, but Cabranes never looked comfortable bunting right there. Let's see if the Sodbusters can salvage things with Jones and Chavez.
Nick Jones takes strike 1 at the knees, and Raggi delivers strike 1. It is 0-1 to Jones. Jones with the base hit today. And for Nick Jones, he extends his hitting streak to 8 games. Breaking pitch, misses down. They'll appeal out to the field, but maybe they won't. Jones holds up on the breaking pitch, and it's 1-1. Now a bigger shift on for Jones as The outfield expects him to pull and hit and run action there, but Jones fouls that off, and Jensen will head back to first.
Unfortunate for Hastings because Jensen had a great jump. Now, DeMeo has a gun, but it would have been interesting to see if Jensen could have had the straight steal there and got into scoring position.
Jensen doesn't have too many stolen bases on the season. Jensen just with 3, but he is a perfect 3 for 3. The 1-2 to Jones. Jensen not going, and a called strike 3 on the outer part of the plate. Jones knew it, and he'll head back to the dugout for out number 2.
What a promising start, but what a disappointment for the last 2 batters. Let's see if Mr. Double, Anthony Chavez, can come through and drive home Jensen from first.
Anthony Chavez tied for the team lead with 9 doubles. He shares that lead with Marcos Cabranes. It's up to Chavez, and maybe the next part of the lineup if the Sodbusters are to score in the 7th. Pitch 1 from Rogge's a breaking ball and catches the outside corner for strike 1. Chavez with those 9 doubles, the last double coming in the first game against the Oahe Zap last weekend. 0-1, and just fighting that one off back to the screen is Chavez, and he's down in the count, 0-2, and like you said, leadoff single looks so promising, but the able just to continue, and you're facing one of the better pitching staffs in the Independence League, and you won't get too many opportunities, so you got to make them pay. Chavez back in. Rogge takes a check at Jensen at first. The 0-2. And a balk is called on Rogge, and I'm not mistaken, not the first time that's happened to an opposing pitcher. The field umpire Tim Stroman says that there was no pause from Rogge. And a balk is called, and Jensen moves to second.
Pretty big call, too, because I think that was probably strike 3.
According to our grid, it was pretty darn close. So now you have Jensen, the go-ahead run in scoring position, but Chavez down on the count 0-2. Jensen dancing off second. Ground ball, just foul. Does not get much closer than that beyond third, and Chavez a foot or 2 away from potentially tying this game.
Saw a wild pitch get a guy into scoring territory earlier. That led to a run. You'd love to see that balk pay off right here. Mentioned the fact that the previous pitch was probably strike 3. Chavez very easily could have heard the balk call and not swung regardless.
It's tough. You can swing at a pitch if a balk is called and potentially take the outcome of the play, but in Chavez's mind, it was best to see another pitch. He's still down in the count 0-2. Breaking ball and just outside. Chavez really thought about it, but able to lay off, and the count goes to 1-2. So breaking balls have been Rogge's bread and butter so far. Let's see if he goes back to that here. Jensen dancing off second. Rogge delivers, and just getting a piece of that one again is Chavez, and he stays alive with 1-2 count.
Good job for Chavez to battle here. He's seen the fastball, he's seen it off speed, able to foul both of those off. You just hope Rogge misses right here, and Chavez can get a hit to the outfield and get Jensen home from second.
Not just a doubles guy, he also has 21 hits that are not doubles. His son makes a brief appearance out in the outfield. First time we've seen that this evening. The shadows remain on the infield. 1-2 from Rogge. Fly ball to the right side and just out of reach of the first baseman Palmer, and he loses that white libero lid, and Chavez stays alive and battling tough with 2 strikes. Get that pitch count up for Rogge, and eventually something's got to give. Chavez 1 for 3 on the day, and has flied out twice to right field. And that Sun really putting some pressure on Mungin in center and Swafford in right. both covering their faces with their gloves. The 1-2 once more in the dirt, and Chavez lays off. The count goes to 2-2, and with every pitch Raggi throws, you have to think that Chavez has a better idea of what's coming. Duncan Field trying to cheer Chavez and the offense on to take the lead here in the 7th. Now 2-2 from Raggi. Ground ball up the middle, and that gets through. Cale Jensen hits the bag at third, and it's misplayed in center by Mungin. Chavez goes to second base, and the go-ahead run scores. RBI single for Anthony Chavez, and he takes second on the misplay in center field by Trey Mungin, and once again, the Sodbusters have the lead.
Big 2-out hit. The balk is huge in the course of this game as Jensen scoring easily from second. Tremendous at bat. Remember, Chavez way down at the count and just fought that one right back up the middle, and now the Sodbusters trying to add on here with a runner in scoring position. Will the error cost the Prospects a run as they give up a base to get a guy into the scoring position?
Whole lot different story with Chavez at second. Not the fastest runner, but having him at second compared to first gives you a shot. First pitch in there for a strike to Rusty Wortman. And he down in the count 0-1. Wortman with that big RBI triple in the 4th inning. Scored the Sodbusters' second run. The 0-1 to him. Fastball just up. The count goes to 1-1. You got to wonder maybe if in center field, obviously Mungin charging in, maybe if the sun had anything to do with having a sunspot in that eye, taking your eye off the ball for a second. Either way, it proved costly. 1-1 to Wortman, outside for ball 2, and Raggi misses. Count goes to 2-1. There's one thing we have told you time and time again about Rusty Wortman. He has an excellent eye. Those borderline pitches, he will lay off if they are not strikes. 2-1 to Wortman with Chavez at second, and they get the call there on the backdoor breaking ball, and pitch appeared to be a little outside, but Jason Seitz says strike 2. Now Wortman in protect mode. You got to figure if you're Raggi, might try to go back to that same spot and get the call there. They go with the fastball, and he spikes it, and DeMeo does a good job to block that. And the count goes full, 3-2 to Wortman, and I wish I had a stat for outcomes of an at-bat for Wortman on a 3-2 pitch, but if I had to guess, it would be pretty good. Payoff pitch to Rusty Wortman from Raggi. Outside for ball 4. Just missed with the fastball, and Wortman once again works his great eye at the plate and works a 2-out walk, first and second for the Sodbusters, and that'll prompt a mound visit from Trevor Varley. So, like we said, making them pay for their miscues, the balk, then the error in center field, and the Sodbusters still have a chance at Landon Gas.
Very small sample size, but you were talking about the full count. Well, in this game, Rusty Wortman, a 3-2 triple and 2 3-2 walks. So he's been pretty good today as he has reached base 3 straight times after hitting it pretty well in the second inning on a line out. Hastings trying to keep this inning going with Landon Gaz, who had that big 2-out RBI double back in the 4th inning. Sodbusters have regained the lead, but you don't feel comfortable with just a 1-run lead. You'd love a crooked number here as you try to get the final 6 outs and pick up a second straight win.
And good piece of hitting for Landon Gaz, as you mentioned in his last time up. He smoked that ball over the outfielder's head, and you see Mungin and Swafford in right and center playing much farther back than last time, but you'll take anything just reaching the edge of the outfield grass to bring in another run. Landon Gaz bats, fists it to the right side and through for a base hit. Chavez hits the third base bag and will be held at third. And the throw is up the line. Maybe Chavez could have scored, but With Josh Printer coming up, Jill Skipper elects to hold Chavez at third, who we've already seen been thrown out at the plate here in this homestand. So probably not the best or not the worst decision from Jill Skipper to hold the runner right there.
And if you could have known the future and seen where that throw ended up, he scores easily. It was 15 feet or 10 feet up the line, but Printer will get his chance here with the bases loaded and 2 outs.
So now 3 singles against Rogge in this inning. Only one of them have scored, and Printer takes a breaking ball on the outside corner. 75 miles an hour on the gun for Rogge. Chavez at third, Wortman at second, Gaz at first. Sodbusters trying to tack on here in the later innings. The 0-1 to Printer, breaking ball, and Printer waves and misses. It's 0-2. Landon Gaz at first base, records a multi-hit game. Like to see him and the 2 other runners come across here. Printer down 0-2, lays off the breaking ball, and it is 1-2, and no swing on the appeal. Big spot here for Josh Printer and the Sodbusters. We have seen time and time again that no lead is safe with the Prospects, or any team for that matter. The 1-2 into the left side and caught on a line at the shortstop. And that is the 3rd out of the inning as Caden Young snares that soft liner. And the Sodbusters strand the bases loaded, but not before they take the lead 5-4. 2 innings left to play at Duncan Field.
Sodbuster Baseball is sponsored by Jerry Spady Chevrolet GMC. It's one of the many ways Jerry and Greg Spady, along with their families and employees, have proudly embraced a passion for giving back to the community. The folks at Jerry Spady Chevrolet GMC realize the importance of enriching and improving the lives of their neighbors. They've accomplished this through philanthropy and active personal involvement. Featuring the top new and used inventory in the region and a certified service department, Jerry Spady Chevrolet GMC, 2750 Osborne Drive East in Hastings, or at spady.com. Make your next pit stop at the Coach's Corner, a friendly staff and a deep lineup of snacks. You can find Coach's Corner in North Hastings on Osborne Drive East. More than just a gas station, Coach's Corner is the place to get delicious pizza made fresh for you and your family. Don't take our word for it. It's so good it'll be featured at selected Sodbuster home games this season. For a convenient and clean experience, be sure to check out the new convenience store in North Hastings, Coach's Corner.
Dizzy bat race. We've got 1 down. We've got 2 down. Oh my goodness. 2 of the Dizzy bat race adults did not make it halfway, and the 2 that finished almost took each other out. One of the better Dizzy bat races here in Hastings as Sodbusters take the lead in the bottom of the 7th after the Prospects tied it in the 7th. And we have a 5-4 ball game heading into the 8th inning, and Sodbusters will continue to go with Braden Mackey to keep the Sodbuster lead, and got out of trouble in the 7th inning. He came on in relief and able to strike out 1 as he comes back on for the Sodbusters. 2/3 of an inning pitched, and his 2 outs were strikeouts for Braden Mackey. I apologize. I was definitely looking at our lineup. I was wondering why those numbers wouldn't line up. So Fred Juden, Tanner Johnson, Braden Mackey, the pitchers today. They've combined to allow 4 runs, and only 1 of them earned. And you look back to the 5th inning with a couple of costly errors that cut the lead to 1, and if you can get through that inning cleanly, you have hypothetically a much larger lead.
But look for silver linings. Braden Mackey, a chance to pick up a win for the first time. If he can duplicate what he did last inning and get through this, he is the pitcher of record now for the Hastings Sodbusters.
8-9-1 due up for the Prospects. Nathan Cunningham fouls 1 off, and Cunningham, not the best series at Duncan Field by any means. He is now 0 for 7 on the series with 5 strikeouts. In the dirt, but no offer from Cunningham. You look at the bright spots, though. Cunningham, before this series, had done an excellent job against Sodbuster pitching. Now 5 for 19 in the series. He was 5 for 14 coming into yesterday's game. Triple, 3 RBIs, and 6 runs scored. Good breaking pitch for Mackey. Catches the corner. It's 1-2. Rainbows. Oh, that's pretty nice. Rainbow up above right center field, and had a little bit of a sprinkle here at Duncan Field, but nothing too crazy here as Sodbusters have had a couple of rainstorms here before games, but staying out of the thick of it so far here tonight. 2-2, way outside, and the count goes to 3-2 as Mackey overthrew that breaking ball. Cunningham, one of a handful of Wayne State College guys on the roster. Lynham brothers, the others, smoked into left field and in for a base hit. Cunningham hit it hard and in front of Cale Jensen, and there's a leadoff single against Braden Mackey. And you have 9-1-2 now due up for the Prospects.
Leadoff single back in the 7th. That guy would come around to score what was the tying run, and they try to do so again. And how will they play it with their number 9 hitter?
Another crazy stat line so far. Just the 5th hit for the Prospects to go along with 4 runs. 7 more hits for the Sodbusters. Just 1 run separates so far. Strike 1 is into Braden Cannon, who showed bunt but pulled it back, and he's down in the count 0-1. Had a breaking ball from Mackey there, so perhaps that flustered him a little bit. The 0-1 shows bunt again, gets it down, and it's a good one. Wortman fields, throws to first, and it's good. And that's for out number 1. The sacrifice is successful. Cannon is out. Cunningham moves to second. And 1 out here with runner in scoring position.
Really good play for Rusty Wortman, who turned, wheeled, and man, Cannon can flat fly too, because that was a fairly close play. If Wortman doesn't field it cleanly or doesn't make that kind of throw, there are 2 on and nobody out.
Here is Tyler Palmer, got his first hit of the game last appearance and just 2nd hit of the series. He bats with runner in scoring position with 1 out, and he takes ball 1. Palmer trying to play all 9 positions today, and it's going to be interesting to see when they decide to pitch him, because he has not been on the mound yet. And this is still a very manageable game. You got to wonder if Palmer has any sort of pitching experience when you can put him in. Close pitch, but just outside as that fastball misses, and didn't miss by much. 2-0 to Palmer.
Yeah, if his team can rally, it would be crazy for him to try to close it out in the 9th, or one way or the other. Yeah, I mean, if he's going to pitch, it's going to be really interesting to see, because there may not be a bottom of the 9th if the Sodbusters are able to take that lead.
That's a good point there. Foul ball back to the screen. Yeah, if the Sodbusters are able to hold this lead into the 9th inning, then maybe we'll get Palmer at all 8 except pitcher. But
that'd be okay.
And didn't you said you visited with before the game? You asked him what his favorite position was, and what did he say?
He loves pitching. And everybody was giving him a hard time. Oh, come on. Yep, I'm a pitcher at heart.
2-1, way inside. No, catches the corner. That pitch looked like it was hip hunting for Palmer, but that breaking ball found the zone there, and the count goes to 2-2. Palmer's also the beer batter, likely the last time Duncan Field fans can take advantage of the deal today. Mackey with the 2-2. Just high for ball 3. Very close, but it was high. And the count goes to 3-2. The small but mighty Duncan crowd. A little bit of sloppy weather in the area. They putting on a show here for strike 3. Smoke to left field. Jensen coming on, and he trapped it. No catch, says field umpire Tim Stroman. And that is a single. Great play by Jensen, and fortunate enough that he's able to keep that ball in front of him, too.
Now 2 hits in the inning. A good job for Palmer to put it in play. Excellent effort for Jensen. Now Mackey really has to battle with first and second. Only 1 out, and the 2 and 3 hitters coming up.
Rusty Wortman will go over strategy here with runners at first and second. You have the double play in order now, but Sodbusters, prospects rather, always a threat on the bases. They know how to run the bases, and they can steal it if they need to, but can't imagine any stealings in order here, but you never know. So Easton Swafford bats with a chance to tie this game up again. Cunningham's at second, Palmer at first. Check swing, and Wortman blocks it. They appeal down, and no swing. Pretty close there, but count goes to 1-0. If you're wondering about double plays, Easton Swafford has grounded into 3 double plays, so even though he is a fast runner, still have an opportunity to get him out. You'll take 1 any way you can get it right here. Swafford single and a walk to his credit today. Breaking pitch misses down low. It's 2-0 to Easton Swafford, and Mackey trying to find the zone here. .2-0 from Mackey coming up. Breaking ball is in there for strike 1, and Swafford obviously not looking for the breaking ball there, and floats it right by him, and fortunate enough, that one was right down the middle. Mackey with pitch number 27 coming up, and Swafford calls time, and he will reset. Sodbusters pulled out a close one last night. They won just their second time in a 1-run contest. They find themselves in another 1-run contest right now. Ready with the 2-1. Fouled back to the screen, and it's 2-2 with 1 out. Strikeout would look big here. Swafford has obliged for the strikeout ball, but he is also second on the team in hits. See if Mackey can seal the deal here. 2-2 to Swafford. Ground ball right back at Mackey. Off his glove, deflects to Cabranes, steps on the bag, 1 over to first, and not in time. Heck of a play from Marcos Cabranes to just keep with that ball as it deflected off the glove of Mackey. Able to get 1 out and almost make a double play there. And now there's 2 outs in the inning.
Because that ball had so much spin on it after it came off the glove of Mackey. I was worried that he was going to muff it and everybody was going to be safe and the tying run would score. You mentioned Cabranes not only just grabbing it and then getting the out there, and a slower runner than Swafford, the Sodbusters may have had an unusual 1-4-3 double play. It would have looked normal in the scorebook, but certainly not conventional after the deflection off the glove of Mackey.
Palmer's retired at second, and now runners at first and third for Sid DeMeo, who takes ball 1 high and tight. It is 1-0. DeMeo was hit by a pitch in the 7th inning and has been retired his other 3 plate appearances. The 1-0 to him, swing and a miss. Big fastball for Mackey, big swing from DeMeo, and he comes up empty. 87 on that middle end fastball. Mackey brings home the 1-1. There goes Swafford. Swing and no swing, according to the home plate umpire. I thought he might have, and they're going to check to Tim Stroman, but he was watching the steal at second, and a lot of grumbles here as they feel that he offered at that pitch, and
yeah, unfortunately,
might have been.
Yeah, unfortunately, Tim Stroman could not help because he was watching between first and second, and you can appeal to the field umpire. Basically, he held up his hands like, I don't know, safe. And it's really unfortunate that wasn't called at the play because 2-1, a lot different than 1-2, and Sodbusters would have been a strike away from getting out of it. It certainly appeared that DeMeo may have offered.
So again, 2-1 instead of 1-2. See how Mackey responds. 2-1. Breaking pitch is low and away for ball 3. And the count goes 3-1. And boy, that didn't miss by much. Not really received well by Wortman, but our box says that was a lot closer than it looked. You have first base open now, but you have Joel Benish on deck. And all he's done is hit sodbuster pitching. 3-1. Breaking pitch misses for ball 4. And that pitch just a little bit low. Had the plate, but Mackey does not get the call. Bases loaded now with 2 outs. And we actually might be seeing a pinch hitter here as Joel Benish walks back to the dugout.
Well, Benish has had plenty of opportunities in this game, and he struck out looking each of his last 2 times, so I think they are going to go to the bench, even though Benish has a team-leading 4 home runs and has hit it well when he's had his opportunities. Has not looked comfortable today, so let's see what Trevor Varley, the head coach, elects to do here with the game on the line in the 8th inning.
It's going to be Jackson Meyer grabbing a bat for the Prospects. He comes on to pinch hit in a big spot. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Sodbusters clinging to a 1-run lead here in the 8th inning. Still no runs across as the bases are loaded. Mackey from the wind to Meyer and takes ball 1 outside. It's 1-0 to Meyer. Meyer came on as a pinch hitter last night. He grounded out in his first appearance and kind of had a weird RBI ground out in the 9th that deflected off the first baseman, went over to second, but still got him out. 1-0 to him, misses for ball 2, and that is 4 straight that have missed from Mackey. Big spot for both sides, trying to claw their way to the finish line here. 2-0, there's a fastball that catches the corner, and Meyer takes strike 1, and probably not a bad take there. Take until you get a strike, and now you have the green light. Meyer has struggled this year, has just hitting 128 in 14 games. Only hitting 167 with 2 hits against the Sodbusters. Fouled back to the screen, now they're strike away.
And it's seldom you see a coach pull your 350 hitter to put in your 128 hitter, but Trevor Varley had the feeling, especially after Benish struck out twice in a row.
And like you said, Benish struck out twice looking in a row. Thought maybe Meyer would be the better chance. 2-2 to Meyer. It's called strike 3. See you later. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Jackson Meyer's caught looking, and Mackey works himself in and out of trouble in the 8th inning. They leave the bases loaded and do not score. Sodbusters are still up looking for some insurance in the bottom of the 8th.
Are you tired of lousy internet and faceless customer service? It's time to experience local, honest, hassle-free, and exceptional. That's the Allo promise. We not only provide crazy fast fiber internet, crystal clear TV, and dependable phone service, but we choose to become a part of the communities we serve and love when everyone calls or stops by our store to say Allo. So don't settle for mediocre, settle for exceptional with Allo. Visit us at allofiber.com/local.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here. I feel better already.
The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Bottom of the 8th inning, Sodbusters with a huge performance on the field as they work out of bases loaded to get the 0 on the scoreboard, keep this a 5-4 game. They're coming up in the bottom of the 8th. Top of the order due up for the Busters as they have been great so far. Once again, top 3 hitters for the Sodbusters so far, 6 for 12, hitting .500 against the Prospects. And speaking of hitting against the Prospects, the record doesn't show it, but this is a team that has hit the prospects. Sodbusters coming into today's game with just a team average of 251, but hitting 290 against the prospects. So
you put up 15 runs in a game, and that'll help the cause. Sodbusters season high coming back on July 11th.
Just a week ago yesterday, the Sodbusters enjoyed their best offensive performance of the year against these prospects here at Duncan Field, as they used a 5 or 10 run fifth inning to first Taylor Gill bunts, but just foul down the left field side. And he comes back, and 0-1 strike. Like Jason Frew just said, Tyler Palmer now at second base. He has played every position now except pitcher, and unless the prospects, dare I say, do the unthinkable, then he will have to settle for 8 positions played today. Wave and a miss from Taylor Gill, so after bunting first pitch, he is swinging away. So Palmer moves, I believe, from first to second. Caden Young will switch him places at first. Cunningham at short. Cannon remains at third. And the outfield remains the same. 0-2 to Gill. Swing and a miss. Took something off there. Went to perhaps a changeup at 76 miles an hour. And Gill is retired on 3 pitches.
Be interesting to see if they get 2 outs. Do they go ahead and bring him in at the pitcher's spot, or do you try to give Rocky the opportunity to complete the clean inning? And the Sodbuster hitters, that's the fact they've hit the prospects pretty well. 12 more hits today. This is the 5th time that they have been in double digits in hits against the prospects.
5th time in 7 games, but yet just 2 wins to show for it. If you recall that slugfest, forget the final score, but no, the prospects had 24 hits. The Sodbusters with 14 hits on that game.
18-7 the final back on June 19th.
Very good. I'm glad you kept the note there. That was my guess, but there's one thing I hate is being wrong on air. So 1-1 to Lane Shires, who has another multi-hit game and has hit in 7 straight starts. 1-1 to him. To second base, there's Palmer on a line, snags that for out number 2. And look at this, here comes Trevor Varley, and we may see Palmer pitch the last out here.
Yeah, he's already headed to the mound. Gonna see him come in and try to get the final out. And if you're the Sodbusters, hey, don't give up on this inning. Now Palmer, tremendous athlete. I'm sure he pitched a lot in high school and Legion ball, but here's an opportunity to get a guy who maybe isn't used to pitching, find a way to get an insurance run. That would look huge heading into the 9th inning.
Big smile on his face. We'll have a defensive replacement here. Ruggie will be greeted by his teammates off the mound. He finishes the day allowing 1 run. We will let Mr. Palmer take his warm-up pitches, and we will be right back on Sodbuster Baseball.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here. I feel better already.
The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Sodbuster Baseball is sponsored by Jerry Spady Chevrolet GMC. It's one of the many ways Jerry and Greg Spady, along with their families and employees, have proudly embraced a passion for giving back to the community. The folks at Jerry Spady Chevrolet GMC realize the importance of enriching and improving the lives of their neighbors. They've accomplished this through philanthropy and active personal involvement. Featuring the top new and used inventory in the region and a certified service department, Jerry Spady Chevrolet GMC, 2750 Osborne Drive East in Hastings, or at spady.com.
Cool happenings here at Duncan Field as Tyler Palmer will now officially play all 9 positions as he comes on to try and get the last out of the 8th inning. As on-field host Jason Frew just mentioned, we've never had the beer batter actually pitch during the game too, so the deal with the fans is if Tyler Palmer walks anybody, then that counts as a beer batter strikeout, and Miller Lite is half price here.
Now they're yelling, ball one, ball one.
Cale Jensen leads off, and sure enough, there's ball two. Saw in his warm-up pitches, Palmer with his fastball was hitting about 81 miles an hour and breaking ball just over 70. There's ball three, so three is straight have missed to Cale Jensen. And you got to wonder how long they're going to go with Palmer, because you still want to try and keep this lead intact here. Ball four straight, and the beer pitcher, if you will, obliges the Duncan Field crowd, and it's a 4-pitch walk to Cale Jensen.
Well, you give him more than one batter. I mean, there's still a runner at first, 2 outs, and you've got Cabranes on deck with Cabranes up there, and he's not going to be bunting this time,
Nope.
So we'll have to see what happens as the Sodbusters try to get a huge insurance run here in the 9th inning.
Let's see if Cabranes can get the job done, if he can reach. You have Nick Jones lurking on deck. 2 outs and a runner at first. Cabranes pops the first pitch up in foul territory, and no play there for Young at first as that gets out of play. Defensive changes. Easton Swafford comes in from right to play second base, and Cooper Tessendorf, primarily a pitcher, comes into right field for the last inning. We hope. Cabranes with an 0-1 count. Breaking ball, and Mayo can't find it. Jensen will take second. And breaking pitch in the dirt, and that proves costly as DeMayo can't keep it close. And the wild pitch puts Cale Jensen in scoring position with 2 outs.
Now any old single to the outfield, you get that big insurance run for the 9th, and how are the Sodbusters going to play it from a pitching standpoint after Braden Mackey worked his way out of trouble in the 7th and 8th?
Strike 2 to Marcos Cabranes, and it's a good point, Steve. Jacob Shaw pitching the last 2 games. Got to wonder, probably not available today. You know, Luke Wenzel's not available today. Maybe could see Mackey out there again. We'll have to see. 1-2 and a half-hearted swing, and Palmer strikes out Cabranes for out number 3. Tyler Palmer's ERA as a prospect is 0, and he has a strikeout to add to his name. Last call for the prospects. The Sodbusters lead 5-4 in the 9th inning. Final 3 outs coming up.
Core CPAs is your locally owned, full-service accounting firm. Our team of professionals have years of accounting experience and focus on building in-depth relationships with our clients. Our comprehensive and customized solutions are tailored to your specific needs. We pride ourselves in our commitment to integrity, objectivity, and professionalism. At Core CPAs, we provide tax services, payroll, bookkeeping, assurance and financial reporting, and much more. Visit our website at corecpas.us.
Hastings College has reimagined everything. As a sophomore, you'll spend part of a semester studying abroad, and they'll cover the cost. Recognizing it's a digital world and how you learn, they'll give you an iPad Pro and Apple Pencil, tools that'll help you engage, whether you're on campus or in Paris, plus internship opportunities and professors who mentor you. Hastings even provides books. At Hastings College, you'll go somewhere. Go to hastings.edu/discover for more.
We go to the 9th inning. Sodbusters with a 1-run lead, and they will turn to Nico Riera to close this thing out here in the 9th inning. And a lot of tension here at Duncan Field, Steve. We saw this Sodbusters with a 1-run lead last night, or a 2-run lead last night, 1 run this time, but wouldn't this be sweet to get these final 3 outs here?
And I would like a dramaless inning. It would
Yep.
be. I just see 1, 2, 3. Let's just mow them down and head home. Nico Riera trying to get it done. He's 0-2, a 12.91 ERA, making his 6th appearance. He started 1 game in 7 2/3. He's allowed 13 runs, 11 of those earned. He has allowed 9 hits. He struck out 12, walked 9. Now, his last outing, outstanding. That was against Oahe. He went 3 innings, no runs, no hits, 4 strikeouts, and 2 walks. So he's another one of those guys that scuffled a bit but has had his moments, and hopefully this is one of his moments right here as he'll be going against 6, 7, and 8, Young, Mungin, and Cunningham in the 9th. And a tip of the hat to Braden Mackey. He continued to lower his ERA. Mackey coming on with solid relief work here. 1 2/3 innings, no runs, 2 hits, struck out 3 and walked 1, worked out of a couple of big jams, and Braden Mackey coming back from that arm injury, the ORU prospect, has done a really nice job in working his way back into pitching form as he approaches the fall at ORU. So it is going to be Jackson Trout, first batter, bottom at the top of the ninth as the Sodbusters trying to close out their 4th straight victory. First pitch strike. No balls and a strike to Jackson Trout. Trout's been on base 4 times today. So if they want the tying run on, this is the guy, but isn't he due not to be on? 0-1 delivery, and that misses for ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hit by a pitch, walk, 2-run double, and a bases loaded walk, so 3 runs batted in as well. Maybe you're happy that he's up there with nobody on the way he has been going. 1-1 delivery on the way. Right there for strike 2. And the count goes to 1-2 on Jackson Trout, as he has played a variety of positions today. Was the starting right fielder. Everybody's been moving around with the job of Tyler Palmer completing his trip through all 9 positions in less than 9 innings for the Nebraska prospects. Pitch misses, 2 balls and 2 strikes on Jackson Trout. As Nico Riera atop the hill for the Hastings Sodbusters. 2-2 delivery on the way. Just misses for ball 3. They appeal to the field umpire, and Tim Stroman is not saying anything. So it's going to be ball 3. He's not even acknowledging him.
Give us a palms down at least, Tim.
No, wasn't. Nope. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Riera pulled the string there. Trout a huge swing on that 88-mile-an-hour pitch, and a big first out here in the 9th.
Right at the knees there. Trout probably too close to take there, so never want to leave it up to the umpire, especially in the 9th inning, but a better pitch from Riera to get the swinging strikeout there.
And here is Caden Young stepping into the left-handed box. He has had the total opposite night of Jackson Trout, still looking to get on for the first time, and takes ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes, as Caden Young did walk back in the 2nd inning, but 0 for 3 in the game. 1-0 delivery. A swinging foul ball, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike on Caden Young. Young's played a couple of different positions today as well. It's been really neat to see the versatility of this talented Nebraska prospects crew, with Tyler Palmer playing all of the positions and everybody else kind of showing their mettle. Here's a hard hit ball, center field. Lane Shire's back a few steps. He's underneath it. Now he comes on and he loses it. Oh my gosh. He never really got a good look at it. Hustling into second base will go Caden Young. That's exactly where you wanted the ball hit, and it was pretty much straight away center field, and Lane Shire's lost it in the sky, and it fell about 2 steps in front of him.
That sky not fully dark yet, and must have just blended in with the light or blended in with something in the sky for just a split second. For as far as Shires is going back, I was thinking, wow, he really put the wood on that, but fell in front of him, and unfortunate situation for Shires there.
Yeah, Nico Riera got the pitch he wanted, and now it's going to get a little tougher here in the 9th inning as the Sodbusters can't make a defensive play. A hard luck double, 1 on, 1 out, the tying run at second base for Trey Mungeon. And the pitch. Mungeon takes outside for ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. Mungeon looking for his first hit of the day. He is 0 for 4. Guy who's had his moments against the Sodbusters, but not on this day. 3 strikeouts for Mungeon. Riera just settled for any kind of out right here and keep that runner at second. 5-4 in the 9th. Sodbusters trying to close that out in regulation. I'd be really okay with that. Here's the pitch. Off speed is a beauty across. 1 ball and 1 strike as the curveball goes 74 miles an hour at the knees, and it's 1-1 on Trey Mungeon. High drama in the 9th inning as Hastings trying to close out and continue their longest win streak of the summer. 1-1 delivery on the way. Fastball in the dirt. Good stop for Wortman. That's at 87 miles an hour. It goes to 2-1 on Trey Mungeon. Saw Mungeon out in center field have one get over his head on a double. So it's been tough for outfielders at times today on, oddly enough, what's been a relatively easy day to play outfield at Duncan Field. Because most of the time you have the sun right in your eyes and left and center, but we were overcast almost the entire game, and the wind wasn't much of a factor. It's blowing in from center right now. So 2-1 pitch is missing. Now 3-1 is Nico Riera in danger of walking the go-ahead run after giving up that tough luck double to the previous hitter. 3-1 pitch. Big swing, no contact, 3-2. We'll see if Riera can come back and get Mungeon for the second out of the inning.
A lot of confidence there to throw that breaking pitch 3-1, especially when you've already spiked one earlier in the at-bat. And got to be a whole flip around for Mungeon mentally. You got to wonder, I have no idea what's coming next now.
And Nico Riera out of the stretch. Brings home the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on the curveball. The back-to-back hooks. And down goes Mungeon. And the prospects are down to their final out.
Great pitch. Went right back to that breaking ball. And Mungeon records the golden sombrero with 4 strikeouts in the game. Second straight game. The prospects have a hitter doing that. And that breaking ball looked good for Riera. If he can locate that fastball and breaking ball, he has been money.
Pinch hitter. Bad news.
Yep.
Here comes Colin Lynham.
Yep.
Lynham, 337 hitter, 481 against the Sodbusters. A cool 3 for 5 yesterday, and oddly enough, in that game, no runs scored, no runs batted in, despite his 3 hits. Last chance, so Riera gonna have to earn it here if he's to pick up the save. Runner at second base and 2 outs. Riera taking his time, brings home the pitch. It's hit pretty hard to the left side. Josh Prenner, backhand stop, throw to first in time. Sodbuster winner, 4 in a row for Hastings. And they beat the Prospects and take the series. They'll look for the sweep tomorrow. Hastings 5, Nebraska 4. We'll talk about it after this timeout. This is Sodbuster Baseball.
Are you tired of lousy internet and faceless customer service? It's time to experience local, honest, hassle-free, and exceptional. That's the Allo promise. We not only provide crazy fast fiber internet, crystal clear TV, and dependable phone service, but we choose to become a part of the communities we serve and love when everyone calls or stops by our store to say Allo. So don't settle for mediocre, settle for exceptional with Allo. Visit us at allofiber.com/local.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here. I feel better already.
The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
There's nothing like relaxing on a summer day. Nothing like taking in a Hastings Sodbuster baseball game. And there's nothing like an ice-cold Pepsi to make the day perfect. Pepsi Cola of Hastings wants to make your nothing like be the best day it can be, whatever the occasion. Enjoy your favorite refreshing Pepsi product throughout the Sodbuster season and make your nothing like memories. Pepsi Cola of Hastings, a proud sponsor of Hastings Sodbuster Baseball. Let's face it, we move our bodies around a lot. And sometimes things happen. A tweak, twist, pull, strain, ache, or pain. At Fisk Chiropractic and Sports Care, their goal is to restore your mobility, keep you moving, and ensure your rehabilitation is effective, efficient, and stress-free. Do you suffer from headaches and neck pain, lower back or sciatica? Call Fisk Chiropractic and Sports Care today. Start to discover wellness through chiropractic care. Fisk Chiropractic Sports Clinic.com. Start feeling better now.
Technical difficulties. There it goes.
Hey, we're not gonna, apparently the crowd mic didn't work there for a second. Anyway, Hastings Sodbusters pick up the win today by a score of 5-4, winning a regulation game. How much fun was that?
Oh my goodness, and heart pounding right to the end just when you think something might happen. You have that miscue in center field, but Sodbusters pull it out and a great win today. And this is a team, this is a Prospects team that has just now lost their second series of the entire season. And how about it? The gutsy performance from the Sodbuster pitching staff. They allowed the game to get tied, but then they came back to win it here in 9 innings today, as they are going to go for a sweep tomorrow. And how sweep would that be?
Yeah, pretty fun game. I'll tell you what, the Sodbusters getting it done. Have a little technical issues, Vinny, so I got to find a microphone that works. Actually, what I'm going to do, we're going to put the headset on you because my crowd mic is not working. Or actually, I'm going to take my my headset off. We're going to do it this way, as I had a technical issue. So we're just going to do the post-game interview like this, as Ryan's going to try to figure out something. If we have issues, let's just do it this way. I got it ready to go. Unless you've got.
All
it
right.
ready.
Yep. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. So the Sodbusters pick up the win. You guys are a lot more organized than we are up here right now. We kind of work our way as we do. And what a tremendous win for your team. Talking about your emotions after taking the first 2 games, the series against Prospects.
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster for sure. I think emotions are running high after a game like that. It's kind of back and forth. We got to a lead, and they come right back and make it close. And then we push another run across late to win the game. So obviously really happy. A little bit of a sigh of relief after the tension those last 2 or 3 innings. They got runners on base, and luckily we were able to get out of it.
And talk about the top of the lineup. They at one point were 6 to 12. They're 6 and 12 with 6 hits and 12 tries. And you got to a pretty good starter in Braden Curtis. You ended up tagging him for 9 hits and 4 runs. And this is the guy who started against Fred Juden last time, and he was pretty good against her. Talk about the approach at the plate against the familiar starter for you guys.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of talk throughout the game just trying to figure him out. And it was really just seeing him a few more times through. They've seen him a lot. Obviously, we faced him a lot this summer. So I think that familiarity really helped our bats. And it was just grinding at bats the whole night. Later in the game, I know we had tying run on second, or winning run on second base, I think, and Xavi just battled off a lot of foul balls. I know that was a different pitcher, but fouled off 2 or 3, worked it to a 2-2 count, and then delivered a single up the middle. And you can't overstate how big of an at-bat that is. Obviously, it's the winning run, but just to be down 0-2, foul off some pitches, fight until you see a good one, and just depositing in the outfield to give us the lead.
Fred Juden setting the tone. Talk about his start.
Yeah, he was great today. Back to the Fred that I saw a little bit earlier in the summer. He's been tweaking some mechanical things, and I think we saw it play out well today because he was throwing strikes and he was throwing hard. And really, I think the key for him was just the consistency with the curveball. He had him really off balance. They weren't picking it up well. They were swinging over it a lot. I think he maybe gave up 1 hard hit ball off of the curveball, and it was an out. And so that paired with the fastball occasionally really was a good success story for him. So just good to see him come out and execute his pitches better than he has the last couple outings.
And as a coaching standpoint, you see that in the 9th inning, you get your leadoff guy out in that unfortunate miscue in center. Talk about the guys, the wherewithal and the grit and tenacity to hunker down and record that last out and not take it to extras and add an extra drama like last night.
Yeah, I think that kind of follows the pitcher. The pitcher can overreact and get upset about that, but Nico just kind of took it, saw it happen, took a deep breath, and then went and got the next batter. He got behind him a little bit, so maybe took him a couple pitches, but again, just throwing his curveball for strikes, getting some swings and misses, and then they pinch hit a good hitter, hits the ball hard in play, and Printer just makes a phenomenal play at shortstop, which he's been doing that all summer. So awesome to see him come through in a big moment like that. And just big players making big plays in big moments, and that's what you need to win games.
And those guys sandwiched around Braden Mackey, who had his best outing of the summer, working out of huge jams to put zeros on the board.
Yeah, I think that's probably what I've overlooked so far in this interview is just he had bases loaded when he came in, strikes out the side, gets himself in a little bit of a jam, whether it's walks or misplays on defense, and then gets himself out of it. Gives up 1 run, but really limiting the damage there. We knew we would need we didn't need to score 1 more run to win anyway. So just having that poise, and I think that's, again, the development for him as he gets more comfortable this summer is not hitting a batter with the bases loaded and being able to throw off-speed pitches 3-2 and throw his fastball 3-2. So you don't get out of those jams unless you can throw multiple pitches for strikes in deep counts, and he did that today, and that's why I got out of him.
Vinny Carone, assistant coach, the pitching coach for the Hastings Sodbusters, as Hastings wins this one by a score of 5-4. Talk for a second, and I will get my headphones back on.
All right, and I think we can now officially call it a streak. 4 in a row, 2 against the Prospects, and they have 3 wins against the Prospects in their last 5 games, all coming in with a span of 8 days now. So for the guys, it's been long overdue. They have played really well as a team, situational hitting, not getting down when they're actually down in the game, able to keep their heads and battle back, which they have done so many times against the Prospects now. They, like you said at the start of the season, it looked like they were kind of a junior varsity team on the field against a varsity team, but they have looked really, really good this past week at Duncan Field. And just a shame we couldn't have had that earlier in the season, but this has got to leave a good taste in the mouth for the guys for the rest of the way going.
And it's really weird to say that tonight the Sodbusters win 5-4, and it shouldn't have been that close. I mean, they basically gave him 3 runs, hit him 12-7, really controlled this game from almost the beginning to the end with the starting performance for Juden. Really had a tremendous approach against a very good pitcher as they were able to do the nice job against Braden Curtis. Put up 9 hits against him, and he allowed 4 runs through the first 5 innings. But Juden, no decision. Braden Mackey coming on, doing a great job in relief after a little struggle for Tanner Johnson, and then closing things out. Nico Riera putting a miscue behind him, putting a defensive miscue which happened behind him. Was able to work around that and pick up the save for the Hastings Sodbusters as Mackey picks up the win with his 1 2/3 innings of scoreless relief. As far as some of the offensive highlights for this Hastings squad, multi-hit games, Taylor Gill 2 for 5, an RBI and a run scored. Lane Shires 2 more hits, he goes 2 for 5. Cale Jensen 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run scored. A 2-hit game for Anthony Chavez. He had an RBI in the game. A 2-hit game for Landon Gaz. He has an RBI and a run scored. And then other guys contributing. Nick Jones 1 for 2, a run scored. Rusty Wortman 1 for 2, a triple, an RBI, and a run scored for the Hastings Sodbusters. Up and down the lineup, Hastings getting it done, despite the fact they had a couple of errors, some pretty good defensive plays too. Coach mentioned that Josh Printer play to end the game.
Yes.
When the game is on the line, the backhand stop against Colin Lynham, and a hose to first base to record the 27th out today.
And that defense really came through in the end. Like you said, a little bit of sloppy defense earlier in the game today. 4 errors last night too, still got the win, so you just know that even if you boot it around sometimes, as long as you're able to come back with the right mindset, just put it behind you, and good things will happen for you. Chavez with the 7th inning single seals the deal, and can't believe we're saying this. We're going for a sweep against the Nebraska Prospects tomorrow here. Can't believe that.
Bring the broom. 6:35 start time. We'll have coverage at 6:10. As for Mason Hendricks, for the whole crew, for Ryan Valenta, final score once again, the Sodbusters defeat the Prospects 5-4. Good night, everyone.
Catch the spirit of the game. The Hastings Sodbusters.
Get the ultimate fan experience at a Hastings Sodbuster game this summer. Enjoy high-level collegiate summer woodbat baseball at the beautiful and historic Duncan Field in Hastings. Baseball and a whole lot more. Affordable family fun. That's what the Sodbusters and the Independence League are all about. Sodbuster Baseball. It's your team.
Catch the spirit